like when you made the decision to do silver over gold, what was the choice? It's like a gospel song.
Right.
I'd rather have Jesus.
Right, than silver and gold. Well, this was a gift.
Okay.
And so...
Because it's interesting. I had the same, like, the way my...
Oh, yeah.
Was. I took mine because you took... No, I'm not.
Well, you know, I took mine because I think it's kind of hood to be like, my chain all outside my necklace and stuff.
Hood? Where you from?
Baltimore, the hood. I'm from the hood.
Baltimore the other day.
She was beautiful? Man. We're beautiful people in Baltimore. In the DMV. Where the DMV at?
DMV right here. I'm from Hampton.
I went to Hampton.
Okay. That's how we made each other
Really?
first time. We had this conversation 8 years ago.
I don't remember that.
But you remember selling the book.
Absolutely.
Remember that the money I gave you.
Absolutely. Well, and I'm going to talk about that on here. I'm just
good.
letting the people come on in. Come on in. Hit the share button when you come in. Remember, that's the new rule. I need you to... Now, YouTube, there's no share button over here, but I just need you to... There is?
There's a new update?
Oh, okay. Well, if you can share on...
Yeah, I just shared it.
On YouTube?
Yeah, I just shared it to my aunt. But you can share it.
On YouTube or Facebook?
You.
I didn't know there was a share button on YouTube. Somebody said, I'm bipolar, so come correct, niece. Depression most certainly is a form of mental illness. What'd I tell you?
See, there's that little arrow up there.
Okay, well, listen, on Facebook and YouTube, you can hit share. Hit the share button, people. We're about to have an amazing conversation. This is Kelsey.
How you doing? Yo, this light makes my teeth look amazing.
Well,
I thought it was yours at first, and I was like, wait.
No, my teeth do look amazing without
Okay.
the what? Without the light. You know, you got to use your coconut oil for oil pulling.
What?
I'm gonna hip you the game.
All right.
See, heterosexual men don't usually know about stuff like that.
coconut oil
That's why that's why gay men typically look younger and more youthful than straight men.
Is that true?
Because y'all don't usually know about
that
stuff.
true?
Y'all don't take care of yourselves.
Is that true?
Y'all don't take. Like, we're a little off course right now. I'm just letting y'all come on into the room and hit the share button.
Is that a fact though?
That is a
I'm not
fact.
gay
The
man.
gay
I
man
have
look.
no idea.
That is a fact. But you have eyes.
Gay men look
Gay
younger
men-
than.
Oh, I could
Not-
have seen some ran through.
I didn't say that there, hold on, niece. I didn't say that there weren't run down looking gay men, because there are. And all gay men are not fashionable. But what I'm saying is the preponderance, there's a word, preponderance of gay men typically look younger than heterosexual men. Y'all don't usually get into skincare.
Skincare.
Y'all just started getting manicures and pedicures.
Yeah, I was.
Do you want me to monitor the comments on Facebook?
Please. If you're being honest.
You're right.
You don't.
Y'all fashion forward.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
and
Fashion
everything.
forward. We usually have better hygiene because y'all don't even use baby wipes when y'all take a shit.
I have several baby wipes at the house.
But you're an exception.
That's 'cause you
Yeah.
have
You're
to
not the
be
rule.
before there.
Because listen, especially when you talk about black, especially when you talk about black men, it's like, oh no, ain't nobody use no baby wipe. That's gay. No, nigga, that's clean.
It is. You're right.
That's horrible to not really
Me
clean
too.
properly.
I feel like you don't have wipes in your house. You're disgusting.
Tell them. I've been telling them.
I'm just saying.
Have you ever heard people say that? We come into the conversation. Hold on, we just warming up. But I've had conversations with people who have said that it's gay for two men to FaceTime. What kind of foolish? You agree with that?
Nah, I FaceTime my
I'm
homeboys just the other
about
day.
to say
We
that's
did-
dumb. That
we
is
had
so.
FaceTime three-way.
That
I
is
ain't
so
seen my boys in a
right.
minute.
That is so foolish to me. Like
It's-
I've never heard
that's
of
petty.
nonsense
That's
like
like-
that. That's crazy.
They're looking for a reason to say.
Exactly.
the
Like
gay
that's
shame.
ridiculous. But
The gay
oil
shame.
pulling. Let me bring you back.
What's
Oil pulling.
Oil pulling from the teeth?
Yes, it's an old. It's a tradition that originated from like Indian culture. If I'm correct, I believe I'm correct.
Indians.
Yes.
How you do it?
So you take cold pressed, unrefined, virgin, organic.
Where do you get that from? Whole Foods?
They got it at Trader Joe's. They got it at Walmart
Trader
too.
Joe's. Okay.
They got it at Walmart.
Is it that the one that come in the tube?
It looks just like it's in a jar. It looks like
that little
a
bucket.
little jar. Yeah, it can come in a bucket. It can come in a jar. But you take about a tablespoon. You put it in your mouth. It's the consistency of like Crisco. You put it in your mouth, but it melts down to an oil from the the warm in your mouth. And so you swish it around in your mouth. I'm gonna show you like this.
With tequila.
And you do it through all your teeth and all that stuff. You do it for about 5 minutes. So you're doing
5 minutes.
it minimum.
Okay.
So
That's a
you
long
want to do
time.
So you want to do this like when you're milling around the house, if you're cleaning or whatever.
You
And
ever
it-
swallowed it?
No, you're not supposed to swallow it, Kelsey.
Okay.
And then
We're talking about coconut oil.
And-
I know.
All right.
and then you should spit it in the trash can because it's oil, so you don't want to clog up your sink.
Right.
How can I find you on Patreon? Patreon.com/CraigTheWriter Stewart. But the link is up here too. The link is up here. Stephanie. So,
Say word.
right. So you spit the oil down in the drain, but it pulls toxins from your body, it whitens your teeth, and it prevents plaque.
That's
Yes.
You do that how often?
Several times a week. Now, when I first started doing it, I was doing it like every time I
Every
brushed
day.
my teeth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Put me on game.
Hi, Bianca.
Melissa said, but it was hot.
Somebody said, what if you don't have teeth? Well, I guess you don't need the oil pull. I mean, if you ain't got no teeth.
No
Melissa
tea.
said it was nice meeting you at Camp Creek.
Oh, nice to meet you too, Melissa. I posted about that today. She came up to me at the gym yesterday and was like, hi, can I take a picture with you?
The LA Fitness.
At the LA Fitness. And she was like, hi, can I take a picture with you? And I was like, you want to take a picture with me? She was like, yes, I know who you are, Craig the Writer, my daughter, and I love you.
That's what's up.
So, and I posted, did you see that post? I called
did.
Xfinity yesterday.
That's why I said now that you're famous now.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
I know you
And the
did.
girl screamed. She's like, oh my God, I know who this is. She was in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, okay, so look, we're about to get this thing started. Well, let me start off. Hey, girl, hey. Hey, boy. I'm supposed to have my mug, Nikki. It's in the dishwasher, though.
Is it clean?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna rinse
No,
it out.
doesn't matter.
Well, I gotta put, listen, I'm only drinking out of Hey Girl, Hey, or Hey Boy, Hey mugs.
Which
Or
one
So
is-
Much to Say
which one you
podcast.
want?
Give me that Hey Knees. Give me that Hey Knees.
Hey, niece.
Yes. Hey girl, hey. Hey boy, hey. Hey knees.
Hey, niece.
Hey, niece.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Hey knees.
I saw that. I saw these mugs
You did?
on social media.
You did?
Yeah.
That's good. This is about to be a podcast. Look, the microphone is right here.
Check.
We're about to record. I know. We're about to record. This is Kelsey's book. It's called Help. Where can they purchase the book?
When?
Where?
Where?
Amazon.
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 Go to KelseyMaynard.com and purchase it from there as well.
Kelsey is
Amazon.
Kelsey. You say Manor?
Maynard.
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 Maynor.
Just Maynard. Like Maynard for Maynard.
Right. So you can go to Amazon. So we're going to talk about this. Now, I don't typically, I'll say this when I start recording. Hold on. Let me get my beverage. We're talking about depression. And we're talking about it being I'm going to say, they said, is it on Audible? So you need to get your thing on Audible.
No.
It needs to be on Audible. Thank
No,
you.
it doesn't.
Yes,
See,
it does. And you
no,
need to read it.
I'm
That's a
gonna
whole
tell you
nother
why.
revenue. I'm trying to help you.
I know.
That's
I
a whole
know,
nother revenue
I know,
stream.
I know.
I get checks from Audible
I know.
every month.
I feel you. I need you to read the book out loud for yourself first. I can read to you all day, but I need you to say these words out loud.
Sometimes people buy books and then they like to listen to them on
On
in
the
car
road
or-
trip,
that's
on the
not-
plane.
my book's not long enough for that. Just
Yes,
read out
it
loud.
is.
Stop playing.
See, this is the thing I'm talking
What did
about.
Jesus do?
This is what I'm talking about, you heterosexual men. Sometimes
No,
it's
I
just
feel
so
you.
hard
I feel you. I
to
thought about
just
it. Listen,
get
I'm gonna
things.
drop a whole Audible. I'm working on it, but I need you to read out loud first. Just read it for yourself. Just read it.
But there are people that might find
Don't read books.
Correct. But there are people who search Audible for books. They're not gonna be looking for it over on Amazon because they don't
No.
read books. They
I
want
have
to hear
tons
it.
of books, but I also have,
I have a
an
whole bookshelf
extensive
full of books I ain't read
library
yet.
in
Yeah, it's
Audible.
a library. That's what a bookshelf.
Anyway,
a library.
Because I like to listen in the car instead of the radio.
Let me get this podcast started. I'm gonna say
Can we do
good
it
day
YouTube?
thinkers,
Why
thought
not?
leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is the Facebook and YouTube versions of So Much to Say. These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit. Is that how I say it? Black shit, white shit, gay shit. I don't know why it's been feeling strange lately.
Everything in between.
These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. Today we're talking to Kelsey Maynard, but I'm gonna start this podcast right now. I just wanted to introduce you guys. So you guys get to kind of see this for the first time. So I'm gonna let you see it. Oh, Bianca just sent $10 through for $5 Friday. Look, it's $5 Friday.
Friday.
Yes, that's a
What
little
are you
something. They just supporting what I do.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
on a book tour.
I didn't know if I was.
See, I'm trying to school you.
I was trying to figure. Am I being auctioned off?
I'm trying to school you. I'm 3
I got
books in.
5
I'm
on
trying to
it.
help you.
I
I'm
got
trying to
5
help
on
you.
it.
I'm trying to help you.
I was like,
Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is So Much to Say. These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. Today we're talking to Kelsey Maynard, and he is the author of his first book. It's called Help. And then the subtitle is I'm Talking to Myself. So tell me. Well, let me first start by saying, I met Kelsey when my first book came out. So it's 2019 now. My first book, Words Never Spoken, came out in 2012, and myself and some of my colleagues, some of my friends from college were in town. I think it was like a MEAC. Something was going on, and at the time, Kelsey was. Were you a server? He was at Cafe Circa, which is a black-owned restaurant here in Atlanta. One or two of them graduated from my alma mater, Hampton. Both of them?
At the time.
Okay, so they both graduated from Hampton University. So, again, some of my colleagues were in town, and so we were there to support Hampton University graduates who owned this restaurant, and they were in town for the MEAC. I think it was like the football, something going on. Long story short, I had taken a handful of books. At the time, I only had one book at the time. And I'd taken a handful of books with me down to the restaurant because I was going to make my friends from college buy my first book. So Kelsey was the server. And I think you must have asked me. I don't think I just sold him on it because I wasn't that audacious at the time. I wasn't that audacious at the time. And I think he asked about it. Nikki, did you want to say something? She's looking over here.
No. You continue.
Excuse me, everybody listening in podcast land.
They were asking about his book. I was going to post his link.
Oh yeah. Did you have a link or something?
A link?
Oh yeah. Post it.
I was about to, but let me do me.
Here,
Oh, okay. It's okay. You guys can hear like all of the stuff that goes on in the background. It's okay. I want to be as authentic and raw as. Thank you, Kiat, for starting a watch party. If you can start a watch party from your face, look. If you don't know how to do it, he don't even know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, don't worry about it. If you know how to do it, go ahead and start a watch party on Facebook. But the books were on the table, and he said, "Oh, this is your first book." He said, "Oh, well, how much is it? I'll support you." He reached right in his apron right then on the spot, handed me a $20 bill. I signed his book, and that was it. And I don't think I saw you or ran into you anywhere after that. And then the other day, Nikki came over. She was supposedly scheduled for jury duty.
Right.
We weren't actually scheduled to do any work that morning, and she came in here, and come knocking on my bedroom door and was like, are you awake? And I was like, no, I'm not. She was like, well, I had jury duty, and I know I'm not supposed to be here till later on to work, but I just figured I could come up here and do a few things. I said, well, I don't have nothing for you to do because I'm still asleep. So she said, well, let's go to breakfast. So we ended up going to breakfast. We went to the Atlanta
Breakfast Club.
And Kelsey is now one of 3 owners of...
5.
Oh, it's 5 owners.
There's a bunch of us.
He's one of 5 owners of the Breakfast Club. It's a restaurant. Do you just do breakfast?
A breakfast and lunch.
Atlanta Breakfast Club.
The ABC.
ABC.
Yeah.
The shit was amazing. Okay? I had the salmon cakes that were so good. I was kind of skeptical. Nikki had the peach cobbler French toast. Is that what it was called?
Oh, yes.
I tasted that. I had the grits that would make you smack a bitch. But it was just really, really good. And so I saw you walking around, but you had on regular clothes. So I just thought you were there for breakfast. I didn't know that you were. But he had this book. And of course, he came over to my table with this book. And I said, well, I guess I can buy your book since you bought mine 7 years ago. So I pulled out my phone and I cashed out to him right on the spot. And he signed it. So tell us why you wrote this book called Help.
So the interesting thing is I didn't write the book as a book.
Okay.
It was literally 50 speeches I wrote myself to keep from going crazy. I was going through a space, it always takes you like a breakup, changing of jobs, creating a new family, all that stuff was happening at the same time.
Something cataclysmic.
Something like that, yeah. But it was that period where I had been out of the restaurant. I've been in a restaurant for 10 years.
Okay.
But at that time period, I had been out for 2 years. Like I stopped messing with restaurants, hotels, all the hospitality. I stopped. And I was working corporate.
Okay.
And I was hating it.
Yes.
And during that time period, I was like, I want to get back out there and start doing what I enjoy doing, but couldn't make the jump. Like Steve Harvey talking about taking that jump, taking that leap.
Yeah.
And it was difficult.
And what he would say is, once you take that leap, the parachute will open. But you got to take the leap first. You don't know if it's going to open until you take the leap.
Right.
So go ahead.
But it's like you'll watch YouTube and watch all these motivational speakers tell you stuff, but it's not until you internalize that and say it to yourself until you believe it.
Right.
And I started having to speak to myself and remind myself of those conversations But I was like, damn, what did I say earlier? That was good stuff. I said, you be in the shower, you
Yeah,
say
yeah.
some good stuff to yourself in the shower.
I do my best thinking in the shower.
Yes, so I started to write those things down. But a lot of other things happened along with this book. I was doing a prayer call I was leading. I preached a little bit too. I was doing a prayer call.
Come on, Pastor.
And I did it every morning, Monday through Friday at 7:30.
In the morning?
Yeah, 7:30 a.m. And the conversation I have with the group that went from like 8 to 16 to 40.
Okay.
I would have those conversations, talk to them. Then after that, I would just take my little moment to like gather my thoughts again. And so I would write. And so the book really came from just those speeches I was writing myself to like motivate myself to leave that corporate job and get back into restaurant. It was how at the time I was trying to buy a house. Period. I was literally, if you read the books, I was sleeping in my car for about 6 months.
Really?
Yeah, some crazy stuff. Like,
so this was after you left the corporate job.
This is like that. And I was working corporate. I ran FedEx office. I ran 2 offices, one at Camp Creek, one in North Druid Hills.
We could have used them a few years ago.
You could have
for these shippings and things that we do.
All that.
Go ahead.
But I was running 2 FedEx offices. I was getting paid good money, but I was sleeping in my car.
Now, why were you sleeping in your car?
Because I didn't have anywhere to go.
So the obvious question that most people would want to know is, well, you were working and running these 2 FedEx. Why didn't you just get an apartment? Like, what happened that led you to sleeping in the car?
So I had an apartment in Gwinnett. I used to live downtown. I had a loft downtown. I had a townhouse downtown. I met this girl, and we like merged our lives, and we moved to Gwinnett. And I don't want to badmouth her, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
This is so much to say, but I need you to say what you need to say.
So what happened?
Don't say her name.
You ain't gotta say her name.
I know, but the story is just everybody.
Well, just give us a story because there are
people they want it.
They want it, and
So
there's somebody that's about to go into that same
and
situation.
everybody said I don't like it, but I liked it.
Okay.
Anyway, it didn't go like I wanted to. It went like everybody expected it to. So as I'm in this breakup period, I was like, yo, whatever, you just got that, and I went to go stay at my parents' house.
Where are your parents? Because you're from Hampton, Virginia.
Yeah, my parents live in Sugarloaf.
But your parents are here. Okay.
Yeah, so I went there. I think I lasted 2 nights.
So now, so you were homeless. Now I've said this before on here. When I think about the homeless population, the studies show that many homeless people, I shouldn't say many, but there's a crop of homeless people that are homeless because of mental illness. There's a crop of people that are homeless because they just have pride and they won't say to someone, hey, I'm in a tough spot. Because everybody that's homeless doesn't mean they don't have a place to go. So you literally were one of those people that had a place to go, but you couldn't bear living with your parents?
No, it gets deeper. So
okay, well, help us.
I'm trying. So
okay, go ahead.
It's crazy. So I went to my parents' house for a couple nights, but being like 26, 27, 27, back at your parents' house. I've been to college already. It wasn't the place. And me and my dad, not that we have any beef, it just wasn't
2
the place.
grown men in the house.
It wasn't the place. So we had gotten into an altercation one night. And I've never gotten an altercation with my father before. Not like this.
Right.
But I remember it was the stupidest argument. We argued about like how do you fix a toilet seat? I don't know. I didn't know until you showed me, brother. So we had this argument, and my mother came there to diffuse it. And he did one of these, like, shh. There's something that's concerning.
He shoved her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pushed her out the bathroom. And I was like, you don't push my mama like that, bro.
Right.
Now I'm grown. Come on, stop playing.
Right.
And we get into this battle. He's a military man, so we get into this shoving battle. I mean, you ever watch Dragon Ball Z where they're punch each other through walls and it was flying in the sky. It was one of those fights. We're shoving each other, we're busting holes in walls, almost fall down stage, broke the banister. No bows were thrown. It was just an aggressive situation.
Right.
Anyway, moving on. I had to get out the house.
Okay.
And leaving that house, that was my safe haven. You don't want to call your homeboy, but yo, I got nowhere to stay.
Again,
it's
pride.
It's
That's
pride.
that pride.
But you don't want to be that. In the book, when I describe things, I talk about how do you be the person that everybody looks up to and leans on, to being a person that needs people to lean on.
Right.
Who helps the helper?
But see, then I would say to you that not only was it pride, it was part ego too.
You can say that, but if you rely on me, okay, cool. Put it this way. I said this in a speech when I was in LA. If you are looking for somebody to fix your credit, you would expect the person who's fixing the credit to have what?
The knowledge and
no, damn that, the good credit.
The good credit, yeah. Or just, but see, you can't even make it that simple though, because how many women and men go to a barber or a hairstylist and their shit is jacked up? No, but that doesn't mean that they don't know what they're doing.
No, that's like going to the dentist that has stank breath.
Well, now that's different.
No, it's not. It's the same thing.
That's a little different.
Specialty, if this is what you help people, if everybody leans on you for this particular reason, it is very difficult to then be like, I need to lean on you.
But that's where your good friends come in, because there should always be somebody to check on your strong friend. And that's why you should have at least one good friend who knows what you're going through and who knows, like, let me help.
Girl, I wrote a book on this. I know this now. I know this now. This is what led to the book.
But my reality, but here's what I believe.
Yep.
I think part of what you were going through, because my thing is, I have a good friend. Like, I was going through a really tough time several years ago, and I always ended up going to stay with my friend Angela. Like, when I was in a position and I couldn't live on my own, she said to me one time, if your ass is ever homeless in the street, she said, that's because the hell you want to. That's because you want to be. She said, because as long as I have this house over here, you got somewhere to stay. So unless you just close your mouth. But my thing is, but here's the other thing that I would say to you. It may have been a little bit of pride. It may have been a little ego in your situation. But also, I think sometimes when we're afraid to ask for help, now watch this. Sometimes when we're afraid to ask for help, it's because of how we might respond to people when they come to us and ask for help.
So, I'm glad you said that. I've done speaking engagements at high schools and colleges where I talk about asking for help, right? I tell the story, but I want to go back to this. So when I say homeless, I don't mean like every night, every day I'm sleeping outside. I had a nice truck.
I don't give a damn.
Listen, I had a really nice truck, and I was sleeping. I'm tired. I put a hoodie on, be knocked out in that truck, right in the parking lot at my job. Not every night. I had friends, but it was this.
But nobody knew.
No, hell no, nobody knew. I'm cussing my mama. Everybody be watching this. I don't cuss for my mother. I'm still grown like that.
Your mama is not on my Facebook Live.
Listen, you be amazed.
She done
well, if y'all if y'all sharing it properly, she may be watching.
She might be. But look, so what happened was this, right? So my mother called one of her best friends, who I'm familiar with. She was like, "Listen, can Kelsey stay at your house? You have an extra bedroom."
So your mother knew.
Yeah, my mother knew. Of course, I was at her house and I was not at her house. Where was I going? Baby, where you staying at? So she had me go to her friend's house, but her friend lived in Beaufort.
Oh, that's far.
Hello. So I'm in Beaufort, and in the morning I have to drive to Camp Creek.
Oh, yeah.
And then after, like, I'd be.
What is that? 2 hours?
That's like an hour and some change. Yeah. 2 hours, both, yeah.
Correct.
So I would drive from here to Camp Creek. Now I have to go to North Jewett Hills for a little bit, and then drive back to Beaufort every day.
And
but I feel bad because you still want to be young, and you still want to like meet people and find your friends and stuff. So it's 11 o'clock at night. Like, I drive to Beaufort. Gotta go to this white woman's house. She's a white woman, by the way. My mother's best friend's a white woman.
And we have white people that are watching, so we
wonderful. So
Craig,
and we appreciate
also
you.
a white Jewish woman.
I'm a rich white Jewish woman.
But I just felt awkward sometimes coming to somebody else's house after a certain time period, just because I was raised that way. So if I couldn't make it there, I'm like, dang, I gotta call one of my friends and see, like, yo, what you got going on? Can I swing by? Yo, I'm just crash here. We can go to work in the morning. I wouldn't tell nobody. I mean, it wasn't until this book dropped that people like, nigga, he was homeless.
Right. So how long were you sleeping in your car? I still will not understand that.
Then the time period I was writing this book, I wrote this book during the time period and after I moved into a house. So the whole time I was doing this, I was homeless. I was sleeping in my car probably 3 times a week, 7 days, 3 times a week. I would stay at a friend's house. I would go to Beaufort. I would meet. It was a girl. Like, I would meet a girl and we just connect. And I'd be like,
did you move in?
No. I would stay there a couple nights. Like, oh, I'm gonna crash tonight, but I'm not staying 2 nights in a row. It means something. So they were just couch hopping and I told somebody the other day, I said, I want to write a message to all my friends that were there because they had no clue what they were doing for me.
How long were you homeless?
6 months of this.
Listen, for anybody that's under the sound of my voice, if you are in a position where you're about to be homeless or you're homeless right now and there are people, friends, or somebody that can give you a place to live, open your mouth and ask for help.
Yes.
That's pride and
easier
ego.
said than
I know it's
done.
easier said than done.
That's the point of the book.
But that's pride and ego. You need to work against your pride and ego. Don't allow your pride and ego to get the best of you.
Have you ever had somebody that needed some help that stayed here and then started?
I've had a couple people stay here.
Overstay.
And I had to ask both of them, okay, look, time is
Where are
running
they
out.
at now?
They moved to their own place.
Where are they at right now in your life?
Well, one of them I don't speak to any longer.
Of course not. You sometimes you can tarnish it by not.
Well, no.
But in that time period, I'm saying in that time period, I was actively searching for a house. I was able to accrue some money by working and not living anywhere, sleeping on friends' couches, and I found a house, and I bought a house in that time period. I used to sleep in the driveway of the house because I went through a situation with my mortgage company as I was trying to get the mortgage, and they dropped the ball, and I didn't get a house for another 2 months. I'm like, yo, I'm sleeping in my car. I literally slept in the driveway of the house I was trying to buy 2 times a week. Like, once I had a place to park my car,
well, listen,
I stepped in front of U-Bar a couple times.
Yeah,
and that's not what I came here to talk about.
But that's a part of the story that helps color the story. But my thing is, and I think in the bigger, grander scheme of things, it all helps color your story, and it allows you to speak from a place of sincerity because you actually lived it. You know what I'm saying? So you were writing this book while you were in the car, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why did you call it Help?
Because it's... Why I call it Help? Because it was something that, as you were saying, that you don't call for.
I really want to talk about that a little bit more because, I really feel like, and I haven't read the book yet, but I am going to read it because like I told you at the beginning, I purchased my book the other day. But I watched this thing on Super Soul Sunday with Oprah. And I believe it was that woman, Bryn something. I don't know her last name. But she was the one who said, oftentimes when we're afraid to ask for help, it is truly because of how we respond to people when they come to us for help. So for example, if I turn my nose up when somebody says, Craig, I'm in a tight spot. Can I borrow $50? And you're like, what she need $50 for? Like, what's she doing with her money? Like, if I carry on like that, or if I feel a certain way about it, it's because of how I would respond.
No.
Or my inability to ask for help is because of how I respond when somebody comes to me.
It's and like I said, I because once I've written this book, I've spoken on it to groups, and I tell this wild story about when I was in middle school, and I'm pretty sure we can all relate. That time you're in middle school and you're riding the bus and you have to use the restroom, and you're like, I need to get to the house. And your mama gave you the key. You have to keep to the house because you know your mama not home yet. Because if you raised up like I was raised up, you got home before your mama got home. Anyway, so you get there, you try to get to the house, and you're like, I gotta use the bathroom. And that's when the keys don't fit. You got the wrong key. The key don't go in the hole. You're struggling to get in. Once you get in the house, you go to the bathroom. Well, I don't know about you, but my mother had a bathroom that you could not use. It was hers.
So you used the bathroom
other
yourself.
bathroom. Oh, but her bathroom smelled so much better than mine did. So I went to her bathroom. I went to use the bathroom, did my thing. But I was one of those kids that I don't want to be messy, so I'm wrapping toilet paper like this. You know, I don't, if the whole hand's covered, mummified. Anyway, I clogged the toilet up one day, and I hadn't learned how to fix that problem yet. So I knew my mother came home about 45 minutes after I got home from school. So I'm in her bathroom, and I've clogged the toilet up, and I don't know what to do. So I go, and I'm like, all right. In my mind, if you just move the toilet tissue, that's what's clogging up the toilet tissue. If you move the toilet tissue out of the way. So you reached into the... Hell no. You grab the thing closer to the toilet, which is the toilet bowl cleaner. So you just want to move the tissue out of the way.
So it can flush.
No, it's all in the toilet bowl cleaner. It's disgusting, and I didn't fix anything. Anyway, my mama, what are you doing in my bathroom?
That's disgusting.
Hello? What are you doing in my bathroom? And I'm like, ooh. No, listen, I'm gonna be right out. I promise. I was just, the water is rising in the toilet. Of course it is, because it's clogged up. And I'm like, if I just flush it one more time, I promise it'll go down. It doesn't. It comes out. Okay, there's a problem. You open the door, you got stupid all in your face, and you ask your mom, I said, Mom, the toilet's clogged up. I was trying to fix it. I'm so sorry. And she says, boy, why didn't you just
ask for help?
Ask me for help.
See, that's what I'm saying. To me, this sounds like a recurring thing. So this might be...
It's not a recurring... It's an everybody thing. That's why the book was written. It's an everybody thing because there's time periods where... No, I'm good. There's time periods where you're going to feel stupid, dumb, and you're embarrassed. And those reasons...
So have you worked on asking for help now?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This book is is a culmination of thoughts and things that I had to figure out myself because I wouldn't ask for help. So and then when I talk to people, I talk hypothetically, so I gain information and I apply it to myself. But you didn't know you were talking to me. This book was written because I was going through a situation where I would not tell you it was me who's homeless. It was me who has a job and doesn't have anywhere to stay. It was me that was sleeping in his truck. I won't tell you that, but I got information in it.
So were you in a depression at one point?
I say, and I've described this book as an introduction to mental health because I don't think I was necessarily depressed. I just knew my mother told me I had a stress funk about me. There's a way, like, you sweat differently depending on how your body is coping with situations. Like, you may smell your body odor more and you're like, damn, I might be stressed. So my mother said I had a stress funk about me. I wouldn't call it depression. It's kind of like when you feel yourself getting sick, you don't go to the doctor, you go to the grocery store and you get tea and lemon and orange juice. Maybe some over-the-counter medicine, but you're not going to say, hey, doc, I don't feel well. So in this part, you say, I'm spiraling. I feel my sore throat coming. I feel, my thoughts going in another direction. So what do I do preemptively? This and that say, hey, go see a therapist. This is like, hey, I think I'm losing it.
Well, see, I experienced a depression, and that was prior to writing my first book.
I remember I read the book, dog.
Okay.
And I'm saying you didn't read my book. I'm not throwing.
Well, I just got your book 2 days ago.
I just knew you read a chapter to talk about.
I mean,
I'm kidding.
I mean, I'm gonna read it. But the thing is, I think that I personally believe that if you live long enough, you'll experience a depression. I think everybody will experience depression at some point. Not to the same degree, you know what I'm saying? But I do think that everyone will experience, just because the way life is set up.
Absolutely. But what are the warning signs? And that's what you learn over a lifetime.
Well, I can tell you what my warning signs were. I would wake up. I remember feeling extremely blue.
What color is that? That's a color?
Yeah.
What does that feel like?
Really sad, really unmotivated. I remember waking up and just really not wanting to get out of the bed. And I wouldn't brush my teeth until about 4 o'clock. Like, the day would pretty much be... I wasn't around people. Breath. Well, nobody was around it to smell it, but I would be home by myself, and I wouldn't brush my... It was long for me to get motivated. It took a while for me to get motivated. And I would take a shower around the same time. It'd be 4 o'clock in the evening. And it just took a minute for me to just process. And for me, I think it was a functional depression. Like, I don't think I needed to be medicated. And what I know now to be true is that my depression was attached to the lack of movement in my career. Mine was attached to finances, like things that weren't happening. And this is why I say all the time to my listeners, like, stop panicking about things that you can't control. Because at the end of the day, when you say, it's a wonderful thing to set up goals and deliverables for yourself and say, I want to achieve this by this certain time. Because for me, I was that person that was like, okay, but by the time I turned 25, I literally thought that by the time I turned 25, I was going to be a millionaire. And then when I got to 25 and I wasn't a millionaire, I pushed it to 30. Okay, I'll be a millionaire by 30. And then when 30 came and I wasn't a millionaire, I pushed it to 35. Well, baby, 35, I was moving to California because I didn't have a place to stay here. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think what happens is you get frustrated with yourself because you have in mind where you're supposed to be, and you compare the best of yourself to other people. And it's like, when you don't have what you think you should have at a certain point, that can turn into some sort of a depression. But I also think that I think there are degrees of depression. I think there are instances where there are people, there are families and individuals that are struggling week to week, month to month, year to year, just to pay bills.
Yes.
Just to put food on the table. And I've experienced that where I could have gone home, but I have experienced it for myself because I was just trying to figure it out. And because of pride and because of ego, I was like, I'm not going home. And so I believe that when you are in that position, you're in that revolving door of trying to figure it out every week, every day, that shit can fuck you up. And I think that there are people who have nervous breakdowns, what we call nervous breakdowns, which I think is just a severe type of depression. Yep. But I believe that depression is a form of mental illness. And so, like, when you see across this country in inner cities, this is just me thinking out loud. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I haven't done any studies. But what I'm telling you is just as a critically thinking person, I think that when you see like this gun violence that happens in these inner cities where black folks are killing other black folks, it's not just because we want to shoot and kill each other. It's because we are so deprived. And I think I'm from Baltimore, and when I think about what happened there with the whole Freddie Gray thing, yes, I believe that city erupted because of what the police did to that man in that paddy wagon that day, was what we call it, the paddy wagon.
Old school day.
Right. Yeah. I think that they erupted because, yes, there was no rhyme or reason why that man should have been killed in that truck. But what I will say is I believe that the reason that city erupted was because that city has been declining for years. And like I said, I'm from that city. And I know what it looks like where it's completely bleak.
Right.
Where there's no economic growth. The education system is horrible there. There's no job opportunity. There's no promise. And so I think that the Freddie Gray thing happened in conjunction with all that had been happening in that city. And that was just a perfect storm for them to just say, look, bitch, we've had enough.
We have a question from Gerald.
What's the question from Gerald?
Is it possible to teach a lesson that you have not received yourself?
Yes, but it's difficult to connect with people when they ask questions back.
Right.
I agree. There's a certain level of life lesson that allows you to freely communicate with somebody from a sense of connection. You know, we connect. Unfortunately enough, we connect more with our hardships. Mm-hmm. So if our hardships connect, like, you know, you hate when people say, yo, I feel you, brother, because, you know, my dad wasn't there either. Or I grew up in the hood too. You know, and we have this level of communication where we can connect on situations that allows you to truly answer questions heart to heart.
Mm-hmm. And I think, for me, I think part of the reason why I share my journey so much, I've shared it in my first 2 books, but I talk about it so much on my social media and on this podcast,
right,
because, for one, I don't ever want to forget. 2, I want to remind people that it's possible, because I think a lot of times people see me, like I've said this before, I've had people say to me in person, I've had people say to me either in an inbox message or email, you make it look so easy. Oh my God, you have these 3 books, you've done this and you're doing that. But this is like, baby, listen, it's not easy, but it's possible. Mm-hmm. It's doable. And I just think that a lot of times people don't fire the gun because they just don't even know where to begin. And I think that's why I try to share and show so much of what I do, like behind the scenes, because you already have everything you need to do whatever it is that you want to do. But oftentimes fear cripples us.
Absolutely.
And you can talk yourself out of a situation. Well, I really want to write a book, or I really want to start a podcast, or I really want to open up a shoe store, whatever it is. You know, you make up all of these reasons why you can't just start right now. Well, I'm going to do it once I'm going to do it once the kids, whatever. But I believe, and I really believe this wholeheartedly, for every single step that you take for yourself, God will take 3 for you. Mm-hmm. But you got to take the first one.
Do me a favor. We're going to look at this.
You wanted me to read something right here?
No, I just want you to, like what you're saying right now is something that a lot of us experience. So when I tell people, when you connect with a particular story in this book, you'll know how to communicate with yourself. You'll witness the similarity and down, and then be able to build yourself back up. Okay. So this is, you got to get up. You were talking about laying in the bed.
When I was in my depression, yeah.
So if you read it, says, you have been laying down long enough. You've been in a transitional phase for some time, but I tell you, today marks the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. You have had trials and tribulations, victories and defeat. You have learned great lessons through your circumstances that will serve you well. And what you're saying is, I literally sat in my bed and I felt the same way you did. I don't want to get up. I don't want to do things. And I had to figure out why was I feeling that way. And I realized this is like the time after I've been at Cafe Circuit, after I opened up a hotel, after I opened 2 clubs and helped revitalize a restaurant in another hotel. Like I worked in hospitality, went to corporate life. I hated it. And I was like, why am I so scared to get back in restaurants? Maybe I think I'm not going to be as good as I was when I was at Cafe Circa and everybody was coming to the restaurant and it was booming and we did all this stuff. Like, what if it's not that way again? Right. What if the wave is over? And so you have to start to analyze why you're not what's stopping you? You said that
Right.
fear. What is that fear? And why are you really scared? I watched a sermon today and said, yo, the fear you're feeling when you're about to go into a new season or a new place, that fear of going through isn't for you. It's because once you break through that place, it's for your enemies because they're not going to break through that place.
And you know what I also learned too, I understand to be true, is that the lessons that you learn, they're not just for you. They're for whomever you choose to share those lessons
not
with.
Not even share. Who's going to walk into your path that's like, yo, and you're going to realize why you went through that situation because somebody's going to come to you with a problem and you're like, I've been there already. It's so much. I tell people this weird story about when I was a kid. My mother told me my mother had a kitchen like this, and I sat in the living room trying to tie my shoes as a child, and I would get frustrated. I would kick my feet. I'm like, I was on the ground just kicking my feet
because you couldn't tie your shoes.
Yeah, I had a fit, and my mother said I scooted from the front door by the living room, through the living room, through the dining room, through the kitchen, down the hallway, back up the hallway. By the time I got back to the front door, I was tying my shoes like a pro.
What's your sign?
I'm Aquarius.
Okay.
What you thought?
I thought you were a Leo.
No.
But look, for all the Leos listening, listen, don't email me, don't message me.
I'm Aquarius.
I just thought maybe you were a Leo. Okay, or a Taurus. Because, you know, we stubborn too. We can be stubborn.
My mother's a Taurus. No, I got a little bit of everything in it.
Right.
But it was very interesting to do that.
But so before we started recording, I was saying to you that I think that depression is a form of mental illness. Do you think that?
I think mental illness there's ways to describe it. There's mental illness, which is those diagnosed, doctor prescribed, almost like the schizophrenia, the bipolar, those things that they consider that mental illness.
But I think that this is a form. I think that
they have like different criteria, like disorders and some things. There are different areas, like illness is prescribed. Like
I think certain depressions need to be prescribed.
Sometimes yes, and there's chemical imbalances. Sometimes it's just self-inflicted. And
and that's
we
what I
talked
was
about that a lot.
Yeah.
You said that the
for me
whole pride thing.
For me, I think that
it starts that way and then it gets worse. You can almost you can think yourself going to be sick and think yourself sick, you know?
And I think that for me, my depression, again, it was attached to my finances, my lack of career growth. But then once those things fell into place, I haven't experienced it anymore. But I know that there are people who are chemically depressed. And you need to be medicated. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you need to be medicated, then so be it. But for me, I think mine was broken faith. Mine was broken faith. Like, because I got to a point in those days where I was very blue and not getting out of the bed until 3 and 4 o'clock and sleeping extra hours and all this other stuff. I think it was broken faith or fear that I wouldn't actually get time or be able to do all of the things that I wanted to do in my career and in my life. And I was watching this proverbial clock like, well, shit, you're 30 now.
Right.
Now you're 33. Shit still ain't moving. You know what I'm saying? But that's the church folk would say that's the devil. But I believe that's your that's fear in there talking. You know what I'm saying? I think that sometimes your subconscious speaking to you. And I just really believe that you have to get control of your mind.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't know how to get control of their mind.
We're back to the book. I like how you're doing. You're amazing at this. So the book is truly the things you're saying to yourself.
Yes.
At one point you get to be an adult and there's nobody telling you what to do. You know what I mean? When you're a child, say you get up at this time, you go eat, you go to school, you come home, you have a curfew, you're gonna study, you're gonna do this and that. There's these guidelines that people are holding you to. Once you're an adult, you have to say those same things to yourself. Like, no, you're gonna wake up at 5 o'clock because you have to be somewhere at 7, and you know that it takes 2 hours to get ready, or you're gonna be late. You have to say those things to yourself. You have to get up. You have to do better. You have to push harder. And you the only person who's gonna tell yourself that because you're not gonna pay somebody to tell you what to do unless you're at the gym. You're paying for a personal trainer.
Right.
Other than that, there's no personal life guru who's gonna wake up in the morning.
So what did you mean by this?
I don't know. Who's back there?
He talked to people.
I talk to people in the background all
That
the
man
time.
right there felt
Somebody's
that
here. Somebody's listening.
You know, I felt the spirit.
But what do you mean by this quote? It's on page 52. You say, we want something, need something, pray for something, but we do nothing.
Exactly. What do I mean?
Yeah.
We do that. Where's the phrase? Come on, church people. faith without works is dead.
Yes.
It goes beyond that to saying that God works for God helps those who help themselves.
Absolutely.
You can only ask for so much without doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Like you told me, the reason I was homeless for so long so I would not ask for help.
Absolutely.
So I did nothing to.
That was self-inflicted homelessness.
Listen, listen.
Look, you were sleeping in the car because that's where you wanted to sleep.
That some of my stuff is self-inflicted.
Right.
Some self-caused chaos. Yes, we all do it. We put ourselves in bad situations and blame other people for it.
Just like some people fuck up good relationships. Amen. Come on, Jesus.
Well, sometimes it was done on purpose. Because I need to get out that relationship.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when it's a good relationship, but it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
No.
A self-fulfilling prophecy. But you said something a moment ago that I wanted to go back
What
to.
you gonna go back to?
Because I'm writing a book now. It's my 4th book, and please don't message me about it. I know you're ready for the 4th book. But in this book, we were talking about fear and what I believe is, because I used to be really young, because I'm still young, but I was really young. Like, I was just like the biggest dreamer and go-getter. Now, that has come back. That has restored. Like, that's been restored. Like, in the past year and a half where things have just really been moving with my books and podcasts and all of the things that I'm doing, it's been restored. But during that depression, I was very much so questioning what was possible. Mm-hmm. Today, I believe anything is possible. I believe you can do anything you put your mind to. But in this book that I'm writing now, I'm trying to pinpoint the point in my life at which fear started to take over.
Okay.
Because when I was young, I literally moved to Atlanta 2 days after I graduated from Hampton. Because I was convinced I was going to become a writer.
What year was that?
98. How old are you?
I moved here in 98.
You moved here in 98?
Yeah, in elementary school.
Yeah.
I was in middle school.
How old are you?
I'm 32. I was in elementary school.
Oh, I'm 10 years older than you.
At least.
Whew. But anyway, yeah, I'll be 43 in May.
Yeah. Sheesh.
And you just turned 32 because you're an Aquarius. Okay, so listen. my point is this. I was so driven. And like people used to say to me, oh my God, you are so driven. Like people used to say that. And I used to take risks. I would leave my job to go work with an artist in the studio because at the time I was just writing music. That's all I thought I could do. And when I tell you that changed, and what I'm isolating in this book that I'm writing now, it changed because once you start to skin your knees up a bit, because I speak in metaphors, once you start to skin up your knees a bit and you start to fall down a couple times, you start to be a bit more cautious. You start to move more gingerly.
Really?
Yes. Because I was scared to take certain leaps. It's like, okay, well, I didn't have a car repossessed. Okay, I didn't have 3 cars repossessed.
But don't you...
So you start to be more careful.
In my book, I asked questions, because I asked myself the same question. At what point, when you fail so many times, are you no longer scared of failing because you know how to get yourself out of it?
You do know how to get yourself out of it, but I was scared. Because what would happen is...
I get comfortable. Like, if I get pulled over by the cop, I know what to do. I'm putting on my glasses, not even the shades. I'm putting on glasses because they can try to flash the light in your face, and they can't reflect it off your glasses. They can't see your eyes are dilated when you have glasses on. So I'd be like, guess what? I learned. No,
I did learn. Because everything that I'm doing now, when people say to me, oh my God, you're doing this, that, and the other. How do you figure this stuff out? Listen, when you're in that depression, great things can come from depression.
All the time.
You know what I'm saying? You have to turn...
You almost got to go through it.
You got to turn pain into passion. You got to turn pain into passion. And what I've learned is, for me, I did learn from those falls and all of that kind of stuff, but it made me a bit more methodical in how I moved. And I was afraid, because what would happen is I would pull myself out of those moments, and I'd be in a position where I could pay my rent, I could pay my light bill, and I could pay, whatever. And I didn't want to disrupt that again. So I was afraid to follow the dream, to chase the dream. Because it was like, well, don't fuck this up. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like when I started, I would substitute teach. Or I would drive for Lyft and Uber. You know what I'm saying? So I was stable. Once I would get stable, I was afraid to really, really take those leaps again to like push my dream forward. Because I was afraid of having to go stay at somebody's house again or losing another car.
And my curiosity is always, once you become stable, you know how to get stable. You know what I mean? It's like if you're hanging on monkey bars and you start to wobble and your fingers start to slip, you got to tighten up that grip. Your mind starts to go, you revert back to that thing to say, all right, I'm not going back there. I know what to do. Like when your shoes came untied, you were like, oh, no sweat. I'm not gonna cry about this. I'm just gonna tie my shoes. I learned that a long time ago to tie my shoes when they get loose. I learned how to correct these problems as I see them starting to happen. My book is about how do you start to correct yourself once you see yourself slipping.
So how did you start to correct yourself?
Talk to myself. I had to read my books. I had to read the words of people who said things to me that were prolific that I wrote down in notebooks. You know, like somebody would say, oh man, that was dope, I'm gonna write that down. Oh, that was a dope sermon, I'm gonna write that down. And you never go back and read it. It was literally just going back and reading the things and speaking the things that I've heard I know are supposed to happen.
I had a question.
What's the question?
What's the question?
From Kiop.
Kiop.
At what point did the depression break that you felt like you could do more?
But you don't really feel like you were in a depression, though.
Yo, do you feel like you was in depression?
I know I was depressed.
So let's speak on that real quick. So it's a perception thing. In my chapter 3, I break down Mary J. Blige's song. What's that? If you look in my eyes and see what I've seen. And that,
My life.
My life. And she and I mean the reason we felt Mary J. Blige is because she you be crying right there with Mary J. You know she cried in her music, and you cried with her. You felt the triumph. You felt the victory. She was like, smile. What's that?
Just fine.
Just fine. Yeah.
Yeah, all that. You felt
What was that?
that.
Oh, okay.
But what she does is she's able to connect with you. Like I said, we connect on pain, and we build each other back up. And Mary J., I had the opportunity to sit with her with V103. She did a show when her last album came out, and she spoke. And she said something very interesting. She said, my experiences in life molded me. And everybody said, oh, I get it. Molded. Makes sense. You know, people say, I was molded by the experience that brought this man in front of you today. You know, you feel very astute. You feel good about the experience that children made this person in front of you. She said, no, baby. Open the fridge, pull out the cheese, and say, damn, it's molded. And what do you do with that?
You throw
it away.
Well, no, actually with cheese, now I don't eat dairy anymore. But you don't throw away cheese. You just pull off the molded part and keep going.
No, that's nasty.
Well, that's what a cheese aficionado would tell you.
The cheese people have clouded colons.
Well, you're gonna have that anyway from eating dairy.
Well, see, that's why you don't eat it.
I don't
eat
eat
lactose?
I don't eat dairy.
I don't even mess with it. Anyway, what she said was
I ate that dairy and them grits at your restaurant the other day.
That was heavy cream.
Yeah.
And butter.
That's dairy.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna need y'all to get some vegan butter.
Vegan butter?
Absolutely. It tastes just like
fake.
No, it is not. It tastes like regular butter.
Question from the people.
What's the question?
Are you the only child?
Yes. Very much so. My family doesn't believe in children. I have so many only children cousins. It's 4 of us.
So are you on a book tour or did you tour with your book?
I mean, where people want me to come, I go.
That didn't really answer the question, but okay.
No, I didn't set up a real book tour. My book was featured on Upscale Magazine. It was featured on
Okay.
Sheen Magazine. It was featured on the Mental Health Society of Georgia. It was featured on, I don't know. People just write about it. I think it was a good book that touched on a lot of stuff. Finished up with Mary J. Blige real quick. She said, I felt like molded cheese. People throwing me away from my husband, from my record label, to all the situations I've been in. I thought I was number one. I was Mary J. Blige, but at the end of the day, I was on the back burner, like going like, oh, that's burnt, throw it away. I was never, nobody took me as serious as I took me. And so I said, well, what did you do to fix it, baby? She said, well, I had to reach my hands into the dirt and the mess that I thought my life was and molded myself. It's like the potter playing with clay. You got to form into what you need to be formed to. It's a perception thing of how you see the experiences you go through. If it's molestation, yeah, you woe is me. Oh, I can't believe my family death to me. You're hurting, all this stuff. But honestly, as you said earlier, you go through experiences not always for yourself, but you're going to meet somebody who's gone through that experience. They're going to need your strength, you'll need your story, your breakthrough. I always tell people, if you're telling me about it today, that means it didn't kill you as you thought it would.
So when you were going through that tough time, because again, you don't call it a depression that you went through. You said something earlier. You hinted earlier to when all of this was happening, you were still trying to go on with your life. Were you still dating during that time?
Nah, I felt less than. Like it was almost like you go hang out with people. They were like, all right, cool, where you going? Leave me alone. Like, I don't want you to even know that. Stop asking me questions. I gotta go.
So your friends found out that you were sleeping in your car after the fact, like after you put out the book, or you told them once you moved into that house?
Nah, I would say joking like, bro, I got nowhere to stay, man. I'm like Tommy. I never had a job or a house. You know what I mean? Like, where did Tommy live? Nobody knew that. Or where he worked. Nobody asked about the living situation. You know, he had Pam, and you just never knew.
You know, here's the other thing that I have said.
I just kept it to myself
on here plenty of times too. You know, which really you know, and part of the work that I try to do, whether it's through my books or the podcast, I really believe that we're all called to do something, right? And I think depression can stem sometimes from people not knowing what they were called to do.
Absolutely. Or running from it.
I'll
tell you about that in a second.
And I believe that part of what I was called to do is to bridge communities, right? Whether it's black and white folks, that's why I open up with Good Day Thinkers, Thought Leaders, Progressives, and Dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is the Facebook Live version of So Much to Say. These are my thoughts. Black shit, white shit, gay shit. Because I think I think my calling is to bridge communities, whether it's black and white, whether it's gay and straight, black gay men and heterosexual black men, gay and trans community, gay and lesbian community, people with mental disabilities and those that don't. I think that that's what I was called to do. So, with that being said, I lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
Damn, I kind of went on to this little tangent.
You were bringing people together.
Let me pause this podcast.
Why? Not let it ride.
You can edit it later.
He said, no, let it ride. Okay. I got to remember my train of thought. I've never really...
You felt like you were doing this to bring people together. That's why you
right.
talked about black shit, white shit, gay shit,
and everything in
between. To bridge between gay men, straight men, gay women, straight women, trans women.
Oh, I know what it was.
What was it?
And so I say on here all the time that one of the differences, one of the things that affects black men, and I mean across the board, whether it's black gay men, black straight men, or whatever, we weren't raised to communicate. Mm-hmm. We weren't raised to ask for help.
Said that.
We weren't raised to ask for help or to show any signs of weakness. And I'm willing to bet that a part of the reason that you didn't ask for help too is because it's a sign of weakness. And somewhere in your being as a black man, you were taught that it's weak to ask for help and it's better to just try to figure it out on your own. And I believe that that is part of the reason why so many black men drop dead at 40 from a heart attack. Because it's stress.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's stress because you don't know how to emote. What do you say to that?
Absolutely. I've never been... You ever been in therapy?
Yes.
I haven't been in therapy.
I write about it in my first book.
I wrote something about therapy, not in the book, but in a something I had to write for recently. But I was telling people I feel like the purpose of therapy isn't necessarily for somebody to figure you out, but it's more for you to learn how to communicate about what you're dealing with.
Right.
And it's not. It's like if I can say it to myself or say it out loud, I can then know. Oh, you know what? I now have the words and the phrasing and I understand the language to communicate. It's all about communication and
men, especially black men,
people
don't typically.
People,
I understand.
You're trying to break down a black man, but it's not.
I'm trying to delineate it because it is a people. It is a people.
I will teach you. How much time we got?
We got all the time we want.
All right, wonderful. Let me break it down.
It is a people thing.
I'm gonna break it down for you.
It is a people thing, but I'd be willing to bet that it is something that really impacts black men.
Watch this. So the funny thing about communication is this.
It
goes across the board, from communicating my feelings to communicating in your language. The reason I get so mad when people say something like, what's code switching? Is that the word? When you go to work, you start acting white because you think you should act white so you can feel...
But it's not even just limited to acting white. For black people who go to work and start acting, hi guys, you start acting white around your white people. But it's also, you said, where does it start?
I'm listening.
It's not just code switching in that sense. It's also code switching when gay men pretend that they're not gay and they walk around trying to act more virile than they really are. So
right.
Because you're trying to pass.
Pass? Aren't wrong. Let me try this.
Because you're trying to pass. You're trying to fit in.
It's not fitting in.
What is it?
Why would you go to Mexico, talk to all Mexicans?
That's different.
No. Sit back, relax.
I'm listening.
Why would you go to Mexico and talk to a bunch of Mexicans in English?
That's not the same.
Why would you do that?
That's not the same.
Answer the question. Why would you go to Mexico, talk to a bunch of Mexicans in English? Why would you do that?
Well,
with the anticipation of communicating. You wouldn't. You would fail.
You would fail.
You would fail. Let me break this down. It's real simple. Let me sit back. I know you about to get answers.
Yeah, because I really was about to go.
So you wouldn't go to Mexico and try to communicate with a bunch of Mexicans in English because you know you wouldn't be able to communicate the words you're trying to say to them so they can understand. So when I go and white people say, oh my God, you so what? We get offended. Black folks get offended. Asian people get offended. Hispanic people get offended. Why? Because it's almost assumed that you're not smart enough to speak my language. No, I'm just really surprised that you can speak the English language because it's not your natural language. Hold on.
But that's different.
No. When you see an Ethiopian person like me, I can speak Amharic.
You're Ethiopian?
I can speak Amharic and Tigrinya. I've spent time there. So when I see Ethiopian, if they're valeting the car, if they're in a restaurant, and I say, no, salam, I speak their language a little bit. They get excited, like, you speak my language. They get excited.
That's not code switching, though.
Yes, it is. I'm going to show you why. Because what you're doing is you're showing them that you can communicate in their language. They get excited, like, oh my God, you speak my language very well. How did you learn that? So we're going to go back to white people. We're not from here. Can we agree that we're not from here? We're not from here. If you went to Italy, you spoke Italian, they were like, oh my God, you speak my language very well. They would be excited. You'd be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I've been studying, Rosetta Stone. You'd be proud of yourself. But for some reason, because the way we were brought here to America, speaking English, it feels offensive because we were denied this for so long that us even knowing it was a problem. So now we feel very shy about speaking English and we get offended when they think we're smart. I'm just saying that's where it came from. We can debate all day. But the fact of code switching is when you go to work and you act as if you can speak and fit into the culture that's acceptable for white people to understand. You would not go to China and walk in somewhere with your shoes on.
But you're talking about language.
You're
talking about language barriers.
No, I'm talking about it's not a barrier. It's a culture barrier.
It is a cultural barrier. But what I'm saying is that's very different. My thing is, if a person who speaks English goes to a foreign country or to a country that doesn't speak their native language, English. That's not necessarily code switching. That's, in my opinion, that's just ignorance for you to go there and just think that you're going to talk to them and assume that they're supposed to know your language, which is English.
You ever worked at a corporate restaurant, a corporate place, period, corporate anywhere.
Yes.
And you had that one black guy that came in. He's like, oh, snap, what up, cuz? No, talking about bye. You be like, please, not here. Please.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's the black culture, because once you walk out that building, you be covered with everybody else. You be straight Atlanta.
But that's what I'm saying. But code switching, an example of code switching, a real example of code switching is when you go to work and you're a black person or a person of color and you shrink or minimize your ethnicity for the sake of pacifying white folks.
You think it's pacifying. You just want to make sure that you're communicating with them in
a way
that
code switching.
No, it's communication.
Listen, I can communicate with white folks without changing the pitch of my voice. Hi, guys. How are you guys doing?
Can you?
Absolutely. I don't have to change. See, the difference is, and here's the thing.
Why do you do that? Why do you do that? Because you want to feel less what?
Less what?
Why do I do what? Yourself. Why do you do that?
That's what I don't do that. I don't do that.
You didn't do it before?
No.
Never code switch.
No. I'm unapologetically black.
Always.
I mean, maybe as a kid I may have been different.
As a kid, you had to be taught that.
As a kid, I had to be taught what?
You had to be taught the code switch. You had to be taught.
Absolutely. So as a child, I may have done that, but once I knew my name.
Yes, your name.
Once I knew my name, I don't do all of that. Just like I don't shrink around in a room full of heterosexual men. I am who I am without apology. I'm unapologetically black. I'm not I'm the black gay guy that's gonna go into the barbershop and I'm not gonna sit there and try to pass. I know there are a lot of gay men who go into barbershops. Listen, I have sat in barbershops before and I have seen and heard barbers. This is an amazing example of code switching. I've been in barbershops where the barbers may be talking about a really feminine gay guy coming in there, and they may not have known that I was gay. And I've seen other gay men participate in the verbal bashing of another gay man because they too were able to pass. That's code switching.
That's code switching?
Absolutely.
That's code
Absolutely.
switching.
So it's not limited.
Code switching?
Yes, it is. It's not just limited to race.
Is code switching part of a mental health issue?
I don't know if I would say it's a part of a mental health issue.
No, survival.
I don't even know if it's always about survival.
But you're not surviving because the person that's actually code switching is reducing themselves and bringing themselves worse into a situation of mental confusion as I don't understand how I can be myself in this world.
What I will say.
Let's talk about depression then.
Wait. I'm not there yet. I got to massage this point a little bit more.
I don't know.
Okay, write it down. Hold on 1 second. Listen, I gotta massage this point a little bit more because in my experience as a black gay person, I really have seen black folks code switch. I've been in workplaces where I won't even fool with certain black people who code switch because all of a sudden you so white and that you didn't change the pitch of your voice.
Why do we do that?
To be accepted, and
Accepted.
because you think
And-
you have
and
to
what?
and
The
because you
culture?
think you have to do that to advance.
In the culture.
But I've even seen black entrepreneurs, black people who own their own business, who feel like they have to do this dance to appease and pacify white folks in order to get business from white business people or customers.
What if it becomes just being able to speak the business language?
I'm not talking about speaking the big business language. What I'm talking about is when I take my black ass into a business that's black owned, and you give me subpar service or professionalism or customer service, and then a white woman comes in behind me or a white man comes in behind me, and hi, how are you? And you rolling out the red carpet, oh, I'm gonna get you together. And I've done it plenty of times. What you're not gonna do is give me that fucked up service and give this white man or this white lady, and I've said it in front of white people. You're not gonna give me subpar service and give this woman Ritz-Carlton service.
What happens when a black person comes to a black restaurant and acts black instead of acting like they know got some damn sense?
Well, that's just ignorance. But my point about
So
the
why
code
is it
switching.
code switching when it's this way and the ignorance that way? I think it's ignorance both ways.
Well,
I
because-
think what
but
we're
the thing
talking
is-
about is communication. There's a business language, so I wouldn't.
No, I'm not saying that.
What I'm saying is each place has.
I know that there's a culture.
There's a corporate culture that goes
But
on.
I'm not
just so square.
But I'm not talking about. But I'm not just talking about language. I'm talking about how you completely
We're talking about cultures.
position yourself
We're
and the
talking
way
about
that you
culture.
present yourself.
It's different cultures. Like in the Japanese culture, it's much more.
I'm not saying respect cultures and differences.
I'm telling you, I think that
There's a difference
institution-
between being professional and code switching.
I don't know. I think there's a disengagement with how different cultures are and how you respond to different cultures. Like you wouldn't go to Japan and not bow. Was that China? It doesn't matter. Asian cultures, there's certain cultures that bow in different things.
But
Like,
that's
they
just
bow.
respecting. But that's just respecting
Respecting
culture.
Nobody respects culture. Americans don't respect culture at all.
That's such a gross generalization.
Is it?
We're gonna take
Is
a
it?
question from the audience.
You have
What's
to.
the question over here?
Are we really being serious?
Okay.
What's the question?
First question is, are you Habesha?
Habesha.
Habesha. There we go. Thank you.
What is Habesha? Help me.
It's a Ethiopian Eritrean. It's sometimes Somalian, but it's not really Somalian. So
Okay.
Ethiopian Eritrean, and
So it's from the Ethiopian region.
yeah.
Okay.
No. Do I look at my skin look good today? I know it's I
Oh
know.
my God!
But-
Come on, narcissist.
I'm just
Ooh,
well. They
you
asked
got
the
your
question.
nerve hot and kettle. Hello.
I prefer the vase calling the vase me, not the kettle calling.
No,
the
I'm
pot
not
black.
Habesha. I don't think I'm Habesha. I had a really
Okay.
good time, and I spent like a month or so in Ethiopia. I went to school at Adama University in Nazareth, and I had a blast out there, and I really connected with the people. So I'm really trying to find out what part of Africa I'm from without paying a white man to tell me.
Well, I'm mostly Nigerian.
Yeah, I bet. That's why you're so aggressive.
Absolutely, and unapologetically black.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't know about that.
But here's the thing. But I
Nigerian for real?
yes, I did my thing.
You did it?
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
One of my people.
How did you feel about that? How did you feel about paying money for somebody to tell you where they took you from? Say, yo, you want to know? Give me $50. I'll tell you about-
It was actually more than that. It was about $200.
$200. Tell you where I took your black ass from.
Right. But look, but can I go back to the point that I was making a moment ago?
I'm going
Because
back to
That's
depression.
another
because
question.
People said we need y'all to.
okay, we're gonna come back to
Move on.
depression. Let me make this one point right here, real quick.
Yes.
But that code switching thing, I'm really passionate about it, especially
too.
in the sense of gay men going into establishments
I
and
don't want
trying
to talk about it. I feel like
trying to pass.
trying to pass. I feel like it was a really interesting thing to happen. Not with black gay men. I'm gonna leave gay men out of this. But I was in a university setting, and they went to this whole was it affirmative action where we just accept everybody? Is what they are.
No, huh?
What was that? What was that?
No, affirmative action is giving opportunities to minorities that they were otherwise taken away.
Wonderful, exactly. Affirmative action happened. It was very interesting how they did this.
That's why we
because
need reparations.
The homosexual community became a minority, and then what they did was instead of hiring more black males in the university system, they had hiring white gay males because they were now a minority, and it was very interesting how they switched that up. I'm just saying that sometimes it gets a little tricky when we start talking about code switching and all this, this separating of things. Because I feel like at the end of the day, if we understand cultures and we understand how to communicate across cultures, we
Yes.
have a lot less.
I agree because
issue
I
we're
believe
talking
that we're
about.
more alike than we are different, and I
Correct.
think that again, going back to what I was saying earlier, I really do think that that's a part of the work that I was called to do, the bridge community.
I agree.
So in terms of depression. Like for me, I wasn't medicated because I believe mine was more of a functional depression. But I do believe.
What you mean by functional depression?
Where mine wasn't a chemical thing, because I believe some forms of depression and mental illness imbalances, chemical imbalances can be passed down generationally. So I think when you have a chemical imbalance, you may need to take some sort of serotonin or whatever to kind of balance out your chemicals. You know what I mean? So that you can get out of the bed and be motivated and, So it wasn't that for me. Again, mine was because shit wasn't moving properly in my career or the way that I wanted it to, or as fast as I wanted it to. So, but I do believe that there are instances where there are people who need to be medicated.
So outside of medicated people, like I said, that's not my expertise. I don't know it. I know the beginning stage. I know the place where you saying you were. Like, I don't think I was medicatedly, like, mentally ill. I think I was on this spectrum here where I feel myself sinking into places I don't want to be, into a deep hole that I know maybe it's gonna take me long to dig myself out of.
Like there are people who experience depressions because of heartbreak.
Right. So it was interesting. So I was in LA, like I said, and somebody asked me a question. So like, so in your experience dealing with like mental health now with your book and the things you've done, do you feel like most people have a go into a depressed state around finances or?
I think yeah.
And well, that's interesting to see. That's what she.
And I mean, that's without me doing a study. Like I've never done a study.
She wanted me to say that.
Oh.
That's what the lady asked the question. She was in finance space. She wanted me to say that. She wanted that.
This is my book. I can set my mug on my book if I want to.
That's not a cup holder. But she wanted me to say that I felt that. But if you allow me to preach just for a moment, it was interesting how I didn't feel that way at all. Like what touched me wasn't monetary. It wasn't the fact that I didn't have a high paying job or that I wasn't achieving the goals I was having. It was different things that touched me. Like money doesn't affect me as much as other people do.
So
you know what I mean?
So why do you think you were in that space?
That's a good question. It's a combination of places. Honestly, it's more of a freedom thing for me. I don't like the confinements of being limited. I don't like being creatively shut down. And so it was more of me getting back to a creative space where I can put things in the outlet and get it out of me. You know what I mean? Like share with people, talk to people, communicate with people, go into a group setting and have a conversation. And those things I wasn't able to do in the particular situation I was currently in that moment. And so that really affects me more. Not being able to connect with people affects me more than not having money. I can be broke all day, but if I can be around 20 people a day just having a conversation, I feel better about myself, that we can share ideas. This is what touches me. And the Bible talks about Jesus, and he was walking with his disciples in a crowd of people, and he says, "Who touched me?" And everybody got mad. Like, what you talking about? Who touched you? There was 40 million people walking around with you. Everybody touched you. But there's certain things that you feel, and certain things you don't feel. And so certain things in this book you'll feel, like some things will speak to you, and that's what you need to pay attention to. Like, why did that touch me? Where did that take me to? What did that bring my mind to? Because those things touch you, and some things don't touch you, and that's perfectly fine. But in life, there's things that really affect you, that make you go crazy, that make you like spaz out. That person that pushes your buttons, what are those buttons? And realize why those buttons are what they are, and then start to learn how to control them. Like you said, it's mentally. How do you control your mind and what you're thinking and what you're saying to yourself? And those things are important.
So what do you want people to learn after reading this? What should they come away with?
Themselves. Honestly. It sounds like a deep thing, but as you're reading this book, you'll hear things like, dang, I've said that to myself before. And that's good. Not saying, oh, I could have wrote this book because I said some of the same things. No, I'm going to say Wayne belief is other people. Sometimes I realize that when you feel alone, when you feel like I'm the only person experiencing this, I'm the only person that's going through this, and then you realize you're not, makes you feel better. Not about yourself that all right, since everybody's going through, I guess it's okay for me to be depressed. No, but everybody's gone through this situation, everybody's experienced this, and this is what they did to get out of it. Try it. I tell people, don't just read this book quietly, like, oh, yeah. Read this book out loud. They're speeches. I want you to say them out loud and say them to yourselves. Go in the mirror if you have to and read the chapter out loud, because it's going to resonate with you. It's different when you say things out loud. You then start believing.
Tell the people again where they can get the book.
Oh, man. So you can get the book from KelseyMaynor.com. That's KelseyMaynor.com. Or you can go to Amazon and look up Help, I'm Talking to Myself. Or look up my name, Kelsey Maynor. Go to Instagram, What's Up Kels, WHATSUPKELS. I do writing classes as well, where we do like creative writing for creatives, where we're just, we go through a whole series of just creative writing. I do like 3 exercises, and it's really a creative thing. I've had music writers who write like music scripts. I've write script writers. I've had people who are editors of magazines. I've had people who don't like haven't written in years. I forgot how to do handwriting because they type all the time. Like it's a bunch of people coming together and writing, and what you get from that experience is powerful because you get feedback. You get positive feedback. You get elevated thought. You have a conversation about your work, and you get to see firsthand how your words affect other people.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. This has been So Much to Say. We're available for free in Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, wherever you can listen to a podcast. Please share this podcast with your friends, your family, and your social media network. Be safe. Keep loving yourself.
The people want to know, are you single?
Me? I told you I got baby shower on Sunday.
But that
Y'all
ain't
come and say
that
Raffles
kind of
will be
baby
lit.
shower.
What you talking about?
But that's not that kind of baby
People
shower.
have babies and still be single every day.
Yeah, it's Atlanta. No, I got a good boo. She cute too.
How long y'all been dating?
2 years. I'm probably a year for real.
Oh, so she your boo. She ain't your girlfriend.
Nah, same difference.
Is that ambiguity?
Nah. She's good though. I love her.
Oh, you do? What you had to think about it?
Nah, I said it.
And who told you to give him one of my Fiji waters? You could have gave him one of them Amazon waters. No, I'm just playing.
No
I'm just playing.
I'm
just kidding.
I
appreciate it.
If you didn't get him no
Oh my God. I'm just kidding.
Give me some more questions. No, I'm not single. I apologize, ladies. I'd love to hang out with you, but can't. It get me in trouble. However, if you're on the east side, there's a place called Still. It used to be called Lemon Drop on Wesley Chapel. Come check it out. I just took over that spot.
Are you faithful?
Still.
Yes.
Yes, still, or yes, you're faithful?
I asked you a question first.
Oh, okay, because communication is our partner. Clarity is our friend.
Still on Wesley Chapel. Where about on Wesley?
Oh, you saying yes?
Right past Wesley Chapel.
Ain't nobody go way out there past Wesley
I'm
Chapel.
on the east side all the time.
On the east
You
side.
do?
Yeah. Come check it out.
I don't ever get out there.
Check it out.
Thank you, Carrie Steele.
Any more questions? Give me some more questions. I'm here for, I don't know how long I'm here for, but I'm here. Let's talk. Let's talk, not argue.
City Punch, Lakeisha. Are there any other questions? You guys have any questions for Kelsey?
Somebody being on this camera makes me want to have dimples. I feel like you got dimples. I ain't got dimples.
I do. I have 2. My mother was like, "Oh, he get them from me." I said, "Girl, you only got 1." I think my father has 1 and my mother has 1, but I have 2.
Okay.
Let me see. Somebody said I don't leave Alpharetta.
Alpharetta nowhere.
That's too far.
What's in Alpharetta? Alpharetta Roswell. There's some nice restaurants in downtown Roswell I like to go to.
You know, when you're in Alpharetta, like you do whatever you do in Alpharetta. Like,
Right.
you don't need to come to the
There's
city.
no reason to come to
unless
the
you
city.
come into a concert at the
or come
Fox
to the
or
Atlanta
something.
Breakfast Club, and I wouldn't be mad at you.
Yeah, the breakfast was good, I will tell you. Now, how long has that restaurant been over there?
4 years.
You've been a part owner for 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said I'm in Johns Creek.
Ooh.
For all of you people over there in Johns Creek and Alpharetta, we do ship my books out there.
I'm saying the book does
I need to
ship.
sign these books to go out.
The book ship. You can get them on my website right now. It'll be there.
Do you sign books and send them out?
Wait, hold on.
Mine come off Amazon too.
Amazon not signed. If you
But I
come to the restaurant, you can get them from me personally. Come to the Atlanta Breakfast Club. I'll sign it for you right there in front of everybody.
We need to talk about how we can get my book over there at the restaurant. I'm just playing.
But he not.
This is the third time you said that.
I just need a little promo. Even if we don't even have to do my book as a promo. Like my greeting card promo that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Can we do that over there?
It's called a pink lady.
Is it good?
You ever had a pink lady?
Let me have a piece.
I want to do black ladies.
Pink lady apple. She all right.
No, say what you want to say now.
I'm all.
You ask some real questions. You ain't ask the question you want to ask.
What you damn wanted to ask?
You did say you had something to ask when we was at the restaurant.
I asked him like why he wrote the book, and he told me because he was in a car homeless.
So, I got questions.
I know. I was waiting for it.
Well, you answered one of her questions because she wanted to know if you were in a relationship.
That was not me. That was Rita. First of all.
Rita who? Rita K? All right, just checking.
Okay. So, do you see yourself writing a second book, or is this like a one-hitter?
Nah, there's definitely a second book coming. I got like 5 written out.
Is it going to be a follow-up, or?
I think the help series is really a continuation of me and what I need help with. This one was I'm talking to myself and just going through the series of I still do it. And I've been on the phone talking to somebody, and the conversation I have, I could deal with you or without you. I'm gonna say the same things. I'm really just airing out thoughts and ideas. But my next book is called Help: Lessons I Learned the Hard Way. And I if you realize, I write like my book. Like this book was kind of written on Instagram. But on Instagram, I do lesson of the day, and things I'll go through in that day, and I'll post a picture, and I'll kind of break down something I learned today, whether it was patience, whether it was, don't say cuss words to your mama, like just some things you need to learn how to do, like just don't cuss to your mama. I don't care if your mama cuss or not. There's a certain level of respect. Y'all said that time when Maya Angelou checked that girl who's like, you don't
like have a license to call me Maya.
Right. Sometimes we have to learn lessons like that, and I learned a lot of lessons the hard way by doing the wrong thing the first time, and so I wrote about them, and so that'll be coming out shortly. Shortly, I don't know, but it's coming.
So, what did your mom think about your book? When did this book come out?
April.
Right. So next month will be a year.
A year. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
my mother was mad I didn't let her read it first.
She was.
I don't know, because she's an English major. She also proofread my stuff and tell me if I did something wrong.
Did you have an editor?
Me? I did everything myself. Listen, it sounds unprofessional, but it's not. It's legit.
Let me find some typos in there, okay?
Find the typo if you want to.
Now, I know there's like a couple in mine, too, but even the best editors, you're going to find, what I'm saying?
So why pay somebody to mess up like I do?
No, but the editors don't just check for typos.
I sent my book to a couple teachers, a couple professors that I knew. I sent it to people to read and give me feedback on before I publish the book. I made some adjustments. Some people are full of crap. I ain't believe them. But some people gave me some real legit edits, and I made sense of that. I checked words, I checked phrasing, things of that nature. But what happened was I was trying to be so perfect with the book that I learned a lesson called done is better than perfect. There's one thing talking about, hey, I wrote a book.
What's that, Dion Banks? Girl, I can't read these questions.
It's happening too fast. What's that?
Right, there's too many questions coming through there on Facebook and YouTube. Mm-hmm. And then I had to keep my mind clear to ask. What?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So, are you going to follow up with the depression book, and are you going to delve more into the different aspects of depression and maybe speak with some therapists and psychologists?
No.
At all? No, why not?
Because I really thought that this book was about depression.
No.
When we talked about it at the restaurant, I was like, oh. Because, I don't interview people. People message me all the time, oh, I want to bring somebody on your podcast to promote his book. And I'm like, well, that ain't what I do. Mm-hmm. But if it's a topic that makes sense that I think the other people, people will want to hear, then of course I want to do it. But,
you asked about delving into more.
So this is like personal development.
Everything's about personal development. Every book you read, sci-fi now is about personal development. I told a kid about that yesterday, and I was signing his book. But no, this book is merely an opportunity for you to see and hear somebody, and you get to look and be like, yo.
Yes, it has an ISBN. Somebody said, does the book have an ISBN?
Try me. Hard way.
They are in these comments lighting up. Do you hear me?
It's legit. There's a business behind it. It was published. But what my experience didn't go that deep into it, so I can't go that deep into it. I can go start interviewing. No, this is that, but so could you. If you feel
y'all
like
ain't shit.
Go beyond that. It's fine. But
I done stopped recording the podcast now, so I can
stay. This is the cough drop. This is the herbal tea.
I can't let the people in the podcast world know all of the fun that we have behind the scenes. I had to press stop over there. But
So no, I don't intend on going any deeper than that. But I do.
they say
have
he
conversations
is fine though.
Listen, I'm 6'1", 215.
You got a girlfriend. You got a girlfriend.
I'm kidding.
You better stop, because then they'll be like, well, how big is his dick? Because they will ask.
That's it. Have him stand up.
Have him stand up so we can see if he got a print. They raunchy.
Yeah.
Oh my
I got
God.
my slim pants on, my knees is out.
And it's mostly
kidding.
women in here, but
That's
they be
my
the greasiest ones.
That's your crowd.
Dad,
What's
we
up?
have another question.
What's up?
I lost my train of
Jinx
thought.
over.
Personal.
Summer breeze. Oh my God.
You can't be laughing and not read the message out loud.
Oh, she
That's what she's laughing at.
somebody said, how big the deek? And then they put the little eggplant.
Somebody
That should be
said
a little
stand up.
eggplant. That was rude.
Well, I didn't mean little eggplant, but I meant the eggplant emoji.
You trying me.
I'm sorry. Look over here. So how big is it? Then they gonna say, no, Craig Stewart, you ain't shit. Your facial expressions are ridiculous.
What was the
Oh my God.
Shit. You done threw
Nikki
me
don't
off.
even know what she was gonna ask.
Oh, it was
But we were talking about therapy real quick.
Uh-huh.
And I do believe that therapy is an opportunity for you to learn how to communicate how you're feeling, what you're feeling out loud.
Right.
So, because I don't think the black community or many minority communities know how to communicate what they're experiencing or what they're feeling.
Now, when I said earlier that there was something about black men who can't really emote, you said that ain't just black men, that's people.
It's
So
not
now,
just black
so
men.
now of course it's not. But for the purpose of this conversation, we were talking about black men, and so then just now you said, well, black people don't really.
I try not to say it and like it's just black folks.
But it can be true. It's not only just black
What I'm
folks.
saying is it gets to a point where we can't connect with other minorities because we feel like we're the only people that went through a struggle, and that's stupid. So I try my best to speak. Yes, black folks. I know I personally understand what we are going through, but it's not just us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there's other cultures, white cultures, that therapy has been introduced as a part of life to be able to say, you know what, I'm gonna put our kid in therapy because he can communicate with this person and learn how to communicate his feelings. And the better you can communicate things, whether it's your feelings, whether it's words, whether it's ideas, concepts, cultures, the better you're able to relate to other people and be more successful.
I
Go
agree.
ahead. What's the question?
So why have you not gone to therapy? You don't. I mean, I know that you said that you don't think that you were depressed, but from reading the book, you were clearly in a depression, not a deep depression, but you were clearly.
I think he was functionally depressed like me.
So why have you not, even after? I know that writing the book was probably
Got health
therapeutic.
insurance?
There are,
I'm trying to ask a real question.
but there are therapists who you can see. Who
2
will-
books are $36. B
charge,
scales. Cash App is TheWriter. All
They
the
won't charge
information
you
is
an
up in
arm
the
and a
thing.
leg. So why don't you feel like? Because I feel like therapy, it should be ongoing, and it's important because every day we come up against stuff that probably has us knocking our heads up against the wall, and it feels good to talk to somebody who is non-objective to your situation. So why haven't you done it? And will you do it?
I'm not opposed to therapy, but I've not sought therapy out yet.
Why?
Well, while you're thinking about that, let me tell you this.
Yes.
For me, I didn't seek therapy out either. What happened was, and I tell the full story in my first book, but you know that because you said you read it. But I was working for AT&T. I think it was Bell South Internet at the time, and then it became AT&T. But I was working for them, and I had a greeting card party. I was launching my greeting card business at the time. This was back in like 2005. And I had done this party one weekend. It was on a Saturday. My mom had flown in from Maryland. And when I tell you I was exhausted, because like literally just planning the party, having the food catered, like I was exhausted. So when Monday rolled around and it was time for me to go to work, I called in. And I said I had a death in the family because I needed 3 days off. I didn't need just one. I was exhausted. So I told him I had a death in the family. So when I went back to work on that fourth day, I was just really sad. I was just kind of down because I was trying to figure out how can I make that my full-time thing, so I never have to come here. Like
Right.
you were saying earlier, you worked in them corporate jobs, you hated it. And just a quick little segue, let me just say to everybody watching, like if you dread going to your job every single day, days before you have to go to work, like you're not living out your passion. Like that's not what you will call you were not put on this planet to go do a work or be in a relationship that doesn't bring you joy, right? So I went to this job and I was just like, damn, I don't want to be here. So my boss at the time, she interpreted my body language as, oh, he is still mourning the loss of this family member, right? But I was just down. And so she came over to me and she said, listen, if you really need to go out, you know, if you need to take some more time off, I understand, da-da-da. And I ended up taking off more time, right? Unbeknownst to me, because I had missed 7 consecutive days from work, Bell South or AT&T had this short-term disability policy that it would kick into place automatically, just because I had missed 7 consecutive days. But so the people called me from the short-term disability department, and I was like, huh, what? But I fell right into line, right? And I ended up going on short-term disability, but one of the requirements, one of the precursors was that I had to go to counseling. Because I had told him I was depressed.
Right.
So I had to go to counseling. So I had a standing therapy appointment every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. And so I was really only going so that I could get my check. Because I hadn't been working at the company but except for like 3 or 4 months. So they were only paying me 60, I think I was getting 60 or 70% of my check, which was fine because I had money coming in from the greeting card business. I had just started getting it off the ground. And the only reason I went to counseling is because I wanted my check. But so it just kind of happened serendipitously that I started to really get some insight from going to therapy. And it was like, oh shit, I really needed this. You know, when I would go in there, I was playing and carrying on, trying to act like I was really depressed. I would go in there with mixed match clothes on and I wouldn't brush.
Acting.
Yeah, I was acting. I wouldn't brush my hair and I wouldn't shave. At the time, I don't think I was wearing a beard. I wouldn't shave, so I would have hair growing in and I just would look really, really haggard. And I just was playing the part. And then I just realized, oh no, you really need this. And that's how it happened for me. I'm a hurt. Who was that said we could have been making a smoothie? Lakeisha.
Smoothie.
Yeah, sometimes I'll make
I had a
smoothies.
meeting about weed smoothies this morning. I don't know why I said that.
Y'all ain't shit.
Did you drink some?
Nah, we just talked about it.
What about it?
Just the possibility of doing CBD smoothies.
At the
Nah, hell no.
Oh.
I give my son CBD oil.
Do you?
Oh.
Oh, why?
He is autistic.
Is he really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I got so excited when I said that.
ADHD, and to kind
What's
of
ADHD? What is that?
Attention deficit hyperactivity.
I know what
you
it
know
means.
what it is.
Oh.
You're so
Sorry.
literal. You are so literal.
Well, I mean, he asked.
Went to public school?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
I went to a private magnet school.
I know you did. That's why you see public school kids like this. I felt it. It's
No,
like-
I went to
it's
public
a-
school, but it was a
it's
magnet school.
It sounds elitist. You said private magnet school.
I went to a public school, but it was
Go
a
back on
magnet
the tape.
school.
You should have been recorded so we can listen to this and see how you're lying. You sound elitist.
No, that wasn't.
He's autistic.
But no, like he has a he gets overwhelmed. Not overwhelmed. He'll get overstimulated. Like, you know how sometimes if you walk into a classroom and they have like all this stuff on the walls and bright colors and letters and that does a lot for him. His brain moves like this, and all of that is a lot for him to take in. He doesn't focus very well.
The question is that a problem?
It's not a problem, but he has to control it, because if he gets too overstimulated, he'll just get up and walk out the classroom and just be like, I'm done.
But see, my thing is with that, because I have a couple of nephews, and I've had a nephew that, you know, they were trying to put on some shit because they said he was potentially ADHD or ADD or whatever. And my mother stepped in and was like, y'all ain't putting him on it, because his mother was going to let them put him on some medication. And my mother stepped in and said, y'all ain't putting him on a damn thing. You know, y'all always trying to put these black kids on medication, and then they be stuck on that shit for the rest of their lives. Ritalin and all this other shit. And my mother was not going for it. But what I think is, every kid learns differently. And so, yeah, but he's very smart.
Right.
And I think without going into all of her business on my live, I think some of what's going on with him is just his relationship with his dad.
Really?
Right. So, but then I don't mean that.
Can we talk about that real quick? I know has nothing to do with all this. But
well, I've already stopped the podcast.
Listen, so what was your relationship with your father?
My father was there. Like, he texted me. I texted him yesterday. Yeah, like, it was, yeah.
Early on.
My father was more affectionate than my mother. My father always says, I love you. He'll text me now, I love you, son. And I've posted him a few times, because I think that that's needed. I think people need to see that. And if people are really watching what I do, I post stuff like that because I think it's important, because I know that a lot of black men, gay, straight, whatever, weren't raised in a 2-parent household.
Do you feel, where's that baby's daddy?
I'm sorry?
Where's that? Where's the pappy?
My ex-husband lives in Dunwoody. Oh, it ain't no more to it. That's it.
I said my ex-husband.
That's right.
I'm so bad.
That's
baby
right.
Mama. I was married. Hello.
I sure was.
I feel you. Then changes nothing.
He bought the whole cow.
I'm curious. So, what's the relationship like?
I mean, he knows.
Child, huh?
He knows who he is. Occasionally, they'll hang out.
How do you feel about that?
Well, me?
Yes.
Oh, I think it's trash.
Why?
Well, because that was one of the whole reasons we moved back to Georgia. Was so that he could be closer to his son.
Whose idea was that?
Well, he mentioned it. I brought it up. Like, we can move back if that. Because sometimes I would drive.
You regret moving back?
Hmm?
You regret moving back?
No, I love Atlanta.
I know you do. You should say thank you. I'm not saying to him. I'm just saying, here's the thing.
I was going to move back in my time, but I also felt that me driving up and down the highway for holidays for him to spend with his dad was a bit much for me. My support system is in Ohio.
Okay, that's a highway. You're talking about states.
Right.
Down the highway. Y'all was going from 85 up.
75.
Okay, 75, 85.
All the way. But, and I felt like it was important for him to be around his father. And so I didn't have any problems moving back. But then we go from being hours away to minutes away, and we still don't see you. So I would try to help in making things happen. Like, I'll drive to his job, and so he could see.
You were always close to your father?
No, there was a period when I was in college where when he remarried, our relationship fractured because he thought that because he remarried that he no longer had financial responsibility to me. See, my mom and dad divorced. Their divorce was final when I was in the 9th grade. But my mom had it put in the divorce papers that he had to pay child support until I turned 22 or I graduated college, whichever one came first. And so when I turned 18, that Negro thought he was done. And my mother was like, oh, no, you need to pull out the divorce papers because it says on page 17 that you still got to pay child support. But see, when he remarried, he thought that his responsibility was done. And so that kind of fractured our relationship. And so there was a period, because he resented that he had to pay it. And so like he and I would...
Pay what?
The child support every month. And so what happened was my mom...
How you support an adult as a child? I'm just asking questions.
I was going to college.
How were you feeling about it? I don't care about your
I felt like that Negro had to do it. I felt like...
Do what? For what? What you need?
Well, it took care of all of my expenses. My mom
What
took...
expenses?
My college expenses.
Do you have a scholarship?
I had a little Pell Grant. I had a
Your private school.
I had a Pell Grant, and I had like one scholarship like my freshman year, and then I took out some loans. But my mom paid for everything else. She paid my phone bill every month, and she took care of like my tuition and stuff like that. But my dad, all he sent was the child support, and for a long time, I resented him.
Wow.
And I talk about that in the first book too, because people always think that the books are just about my coming out story. That's not what it's about. It's about
the first one was though.
That,
felt like that.
But this story that I'm telling you now is in that first book.
Well, it was masked by you coming out. I thought that was the reason why he stopped talking to you.
No. My dad has always loved me. You know what I'm saying? And he told me, listen, you're my son. I'll always love you.
So I had this conversation right before I came here at the bar. And it was funny because me and my guy were talking, and the girl was interjecting, and I was like, you sound like a hater right now. She was talking about her ex, who's also the father of her 2 children. And the difficulties was having him to do what he was supposed to do. And I was like, no, it's funny. My father's been in my life all my life.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't really, our relationship hasn't really gone to that point. When I was a child, we was cool.
They said, I thought you read the first book.
Don't do that. I did. Also 7 years ago, so I'm trying to tap back into it.
Go ahead, finish your statement. Go ahead.
I haven't really. I mean, me and my father's relationship has gotten better as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
And to an extent, like between high school and now, it was rocky. Like, I don't talk to my dad. I know he feels the type of way now. I call my mom every day and don't talk to him but once a month. Mm-hmm. Only because I'm like, Dad, what's up? Mm-hmm. What's up, Pop? Other than that, but our relationship's gotten better. I've gotten to the point in a place in my mindset where we blame fathers for a lot of things. Like this girl said that, she blames her dad for why she had a kid so young. I said, that's stupid. It's not his fault. It's your fault. Your leg spread. It's not his fault. He couldn't have stopped it. He could have been there. You'd still been a hoe. I'm just saying. You can't blame nobody for that. You can't.
Let me help you.
No. Don't help me. Help yourself.
Let me help you. Let me help you.
You can't blame nobody for that because at the end of the day, it's always about you. What decision did you make? You can't tell me I made decisions because he made decisions. Sometimes you can by way of how I grew up and what was acceptable, what wasn't. However, you can't blame the man for that. But I know so many people who, if they drop their pride, their biases, then you can mend a relationship with somebody that you thought you didn't know, didn't need, and it becomes better later on.
Wait. This is.
And then I'm a tag team. Don't you say it's time for you to listen now. Go ahead, and then I'm a tag team.
This is the thing. I don't blame him. No.
It's time to get it.
No. I don't blame his father for anything, except I blame him for missing out because my child is an amazingly crazy, gifted individual, and to know him is to love him. I blame him because I didn't have a baby by myself. Yes, I laid there, I did it, but at the same time, it was let me be the type of father to my son that my father wasn't to me.
And he is the very same man that his father was to him.
Yeah. So you have this opportunity, and it's always, I have to work, it's this. And I've gone out of my way. I didn't help when he didn't have no place to live because that's the father of my child. I've helped pay phone bills. I have helped with court cases. I have helped. Why? Because I want to give him an opportunity to be there. I don't want you to say, and I don't want my child to say anything like, you kept my father from me. You did this with my father. I want you to know that I gave 110%.
And what I will say to that, hold on, you next. What I will say to that is, to her point and to my point with my father, I'm so sick and tired of making excuses for grown men. And in particular, I'm gonna add grown black men. Because yes, I understand that the world is not easy on us as black men, because I'm still a black man. But I'm so sick and tired of black men making excuses and not doing some of the heavy emotional lifting. So in the case with my father, he was there throughout my life, but not for the fact that Gladys Stewart existed. I would not have graduated from college because my father thought his responsibility was limited to child support. And at the time, my father was paying $400 a month. He was paying $400. Hampton University was $12,000 a year.
How's your relationship with your dad right now?
I had to work on that because I realized, I'm about to tell you, because I put his ass on silent lunch for a while. Why? Because I resented him for choosing his wife over his only child. I'm an only child.
How's your relationship right now?
I'm my father's only child.
How is
the relationship is fine now, but
why is it fine now?
Because I actively and I actively work on it and I make a concerted effort to work on it. But
by doing what?
I call him, I text him. When I go home, I stay at his house because before I used to stay with my mom.
How is he?
He always goes above and beyond now. Mm-hmm. And he's always telling me he loves me. My father has always said he loved me. So he said it more than my mother.
I'm not going to knock that time period. I'm just curious why we feel like relationships, regardless of their parent and son, parent and daughter, husband and wife, like, you ever had any friends that were here today and gone tomorrow, not because they were fake, it was just seasonal?
Yeah.
I feel like we start to take on these relationship ideas and we extend them beyond what they are sometimes, and knowing that, me and my dad had a wave where we were really close. Mm-hmm. Then it waved out. But then it waves back. Right now we're in a place where I got a house. I'm calling him about fixing my garage door just came off the hinges the other day. I'm like, oh my God. Mm-hmm. I'm always like, call your daddy. Called him. We talked about. He stayed on the phone, FaceTiming, so I could see what you're doing, and he walks me through it. And we're having this bonding moment through fixing that. And the only reason I was fixing my garage, I was going to cut the grass, and the lawnmower didn't work. And when I was putting the garage door up, it came off the hinges. I was like, I just want to cut the grass, Dad. And I started to start the lawnmower. It ain't work either. So, well, check the carburetor. Do this and that. We're having this whole bonding moment at the age of 32 that I've never had since I was 14.
But see, I wouldn't allow myself to bond with him after I feel like my father broke my heart.
So we're gonna start with this right here.
And so wait, let me finish this
This is how
point.
therapy goes for me.
Wait, let me finish this point.
Mm-hmm.
So when I felt like there was a period where he chose his wife, which he's no longer married to, and I told him at the time when I was in college, I said, there may come a day where that marriage may not sustain. I said, she may not always be your wife, but I will always be your son. And to this day, I have a problem with parents, women, or men who choose a relationship over their children.
Ooh,
I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. And my thing is, his wife at the time, her children are like 10 years older than I am. So they had the luxury of going away to college because she and my father weren't together at that time. They had the luxury of going away to college. And then here when my turn comes around, he just so happened to be married to her. You mean to tell me that you don't have money to send to me? Like, my mother was hauling his ass to court and stuff because there were times that he wouldn't pay child support. You know what I'm saying? And that money that he was sending was deliberately, it was for me. Like, by the time I went to college, my mom was taking that check and putting it into my account. Now, when I was in high school, I didn't know anything about that check. I never had anything that I never went without. My mother made sure I had everything I needed. I went to an exchange program in France in 11th grade. I went again the summer after I graduated high school, just before I went to college. My mother made sure I had everything I needed. So I never lacked. But when I was going to college, like 2 weeks before I went to college, my mother said, listen here, you get this check every month, $400. Don't call me. I'm gonna start putting this in your account every month. You better make it stretch. Don't call. I'm gonna pay him for everything else. If you can't live off of $400 and you don't have no bills, don't call me. And so I lived off of that. So when you tell me that you're not gonna send my money because you just started this new life with somebody else, I don't know what to do with that. And so for years I didn't talk to. Well, we did fall off for like a few months, but then for years after that, our relationship was very fractured. And it wasn't until I lived in LA. And a friend of mine overheard me talking to him on the phone. She had heard me talking to my mom on the phone. She had overheard me talking to him on the phone. And one day she brought it to my attention. And she said to me, because she knew this story, she said, Craig, you're still that hurt little boy. I said, what are you talking about? She said, you're still that hurt little boy. You haven't forgiven your father yet. She said, you have to forgive him. I said, what do you mean? And she said, because when you talk to your mom on the phone, you're excited. I had just moved to LA. She said, you're excited. You're telling her about your day, everything that you're doing. Your voice is going up and down, the inflections. But when you talk to your father, you're talking just like this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, okay. She said, you're on and off the phone in 3 minutes. And I realized that I hadn't forgiven him. And so I had to make an effort to really try to smooth things over. And so we're good now. But it really was through me writing that second book and releasing it.
So, my question is going to be, was it you?
What you mean?
I asked a question.
I think I was punishing him because of how he treated me when he was married.
So it was you?
Well, no. I believe in cause and effect. The effect was his ass was getting punished.
That. Excuse me for using the F
No,
word.
you can fuck. You can say fuck.
Listen, I don't say
No,
that.
you can fuck. You can
What
fuck.
I'm saying is, you're blaming somebody for the way you reacted.
No. I'm saying that the way that I reacted was in direct response to how he treated me.
You reacted in a certain type of way, right? If I smacked you in your face for being stupid, how would you react?
I'm from Baltimore, so
Right.
I mean,
but
so.
where would that lead you? See, sometimes I react in certain ways that make sure I don't go the way I want to go. I need to go where I need to go. You know what I mean? Granted, you were younger. We were full of rage and frustration, and you were told something. You were expecting that money or whatever the situation was, and so now I'm starting to blame you for something I didn't know I was receiving the whole time. But now that I know about it, I'm expecting it, and the expectation messed you up to the point that you ruined a relationship that you had for years.
I don't know if it was my expectation was
No, it
messed
had
up.
to be because you're like, no.
I think
come to me, Dad.
I don't
you don't
think,
care
no.
about me, Dad.
I
I don't know the situation. I'm just saying that once you change your mindset, everything got better.
I don't know if it's my expectation was messed up. I think he interrupted the pattern of our relationship.
I think that you start to expect a pattern that you didn't know about, and then it messed it up.
No, what I
You
think
didn't know about it until you knew about it. Then once you knew about it, it was messed up because he stopped it.
No, because the way that I described it to him was, it's like you've moved me to the back burner
I'm gonna be
of your life.
transparent for a second.
Go ahead. But that's what we were expecting this whole time.
I hate when people say that. My father is military. My father had anger issues. I've seen my father get mad and rip when we had house phones on the wall. He ripped the house phone off the wall. I've seen him take like just angry. I don't know. I can't remember what he was mad about. But he ripped the house phone off the wall. I've seen him like punch through walls, throw things. I mean, like I've seen anger and I've seen rage in his eyes. Like, you ever seen rage in somebody's eyes? Like this is the devil. Like I see demons. Like it's just so aggressive. Like I don't have that in me. I've never gotten into a fight before because I can't punch you more than once. Because that first hit, my frustration's all out. And I'm like, all right, let's stop. And you get rage. You see red. I've never seen red. My father, I've seen red in his face before, in his eyes. Anyway, that's how I grew up. So we had an issue because my spirit didn't mesh with his spirit when it came to frustration and anger. Where I knew I stopped talking to my father, so I started seeing that same rage and frustration that I saw in him and me when it came to relationships. I've punched walls, I've busted down doors, I've thrown phones, I've broken mirrors, I've broken glass. I've never hit anybody, but I'm like so irritated that I was like, oh, phew. Like, why are we arguing about this? My phone's ringing, damn the phone. I'll just throw it in frustration. I used to be like that. And I confronted him one day when we had that whole battle in the bathroom. I said, look, man, I hate a part of me that's a part of you.
Yeah.
And I realized that relationship was held up because I'm seeing rage and frustration, the things that I've visually seen you do. I respond the same way to the same situation, temptation that you did the same way. And I hated it when you did it. I hated it when I did it. So I was having a disconnect between not being able to vocalize that and also just being able to admit it out front, like, hey, these things that happened, these things that transpired affected me, and I don't know how to deal with it, and it's frustrated me. And once we got past that, we've been able to get better. But it took me understanding what I was doing, how I was responding to things that I had control over. The book came from that too. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that is that summing up the situation. I don't know all that happened. But I know personally.
One moment.
The
cash app to purchase the book is TheWriter. TheWriter. Gotta get that.
My book. Because
don't
cash app in for my book.
Well, we don't know your cash.
It's Maynor Made. MAYNORMADE. There's a dollar sign in front of that, but it's MAYNORMADE.
But you haven't even told them how to
$20.
About how to send their address to you. How you gonna get the book to them?
Just pay it. I got you. Put it in the thing. Put in the subject.
My cash app? Look, B Scales, you a mess.
How they gonna do yours?
They know how to reach me.
Yeah.
Yes, we a family over here. We are a family.
Well, don't cash app in my money. See, I don't know how this works. I'm kidding.
I'm not reading those. Y'all a mess. What they say? Ooh, Pamela, you right. She said Craig is gonna let us have it later. They a mess. When I say they a mess.
But can we agree on that? Like sometimes I feel like it's always self. Like how you respond to things and how you deal with things determines a lot.
I do. I agree. I do agree.
Like even with relationships, like dang, why they treat me like that? Well, I hate when people say, well, you let them treat you that way. But in situations, you've kind of set this particular space where, if you fool me, you fooled me once and I let it happen. Fooled me twice, I let it happen. Like I'm gonna keep fooling your ass now.
Well, let me ask. That makes you a manipulator if you're gonna do that.
Who cares about the person that you're letting it happen? Like you didn't set the standards, you didn't set the bars, you didn't set the rules. If you go to a job and say the rule is you don't take breaks, but after 3 hours you take your break once you get there, you're gonna be in trouble. You might not have that job no more, but we're scared.
So let me ask, this girlfriend, how did you meet her?
Really?
On Tinder.
You met her on.
Stop playing.
He just said a moment ago he wasn't on Tinder.
I wasn't on Tinder. She playing. I'm not on Tinder.
Well, how'd you meet her?
So funny story. About 2 years ago, I was receiving like some award, some nomination for some 100 Black Men of America thing. And Miss Yvette, who runs Sweet Lounge, throwing names out there now.
Right, don't be promoting them unless they're going to give me a meal when I go down there.
So over there, and Miss Yvette's cool. She comes to the restaurant. I was like, Miss Yvette, what you doing on Thursday night, 2 weeks from now? I'm getting an award ceremony. You want to come with me? She's like, you know I got the jazz night, da-da-da-da. Jazz my daughter. I was like, your daughter? Where's she at?
How old is she?
My age.
Oh, okay.
So the daughter, she was like, yeah, she coming over. Her and her friend came for lunch. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, well, shoot, you know what I'm saying? We got this award ceremony. And she was like, I'll come. I was like, all right, bet.
Do y'all live together?
Nah. I got my own spot. For now.
Would you plan on moving in with her?
No, what kind of mess is this?
Oh.
Y'all
plan on moving in together?
Are you still in the house that you bought?
Yeah. It's a nice house.
Where's in Gwinnett?
Nah, it's in Decatur.
Oh. So are you going to move her into your house?
Yeah, that's not a question. We haven't talked about it with her yet. We had conversations, but it's not for the public yet. You know, we made it just comes to the baby shower on Sunday. How about that?
You're not having a baby.
You want to see pictures?
I thought it was some project or something.
No, it is a themed baby shower.
Oh, well, what's the theme?
80s.
They don't be listening.
80s is the theme. It's like if he had like a
she's
Jurassic
pregnant.
baby shower.
Is she black?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Pregnant. What the rest of them, baby? Look at it. Pregnant.
Oh, okay.
That's how we got there. Anyway, yeah, man, those are personal questions. Just like when R. Kelly was getting interviewed and they started asking the girls questions,
I mean,
like
you just asked me personal
she
questions.
said, so
Right, you didn't ask about her son's father and all that other stuff.
I asked you.
You just
I
asked
asked you.
And I had specifically prefaced it and said, I'm not gonna go into all this because I'm not gonna tell all her business on here. And you went right into it. Well, why he ain't spending time with the son? Well, where were you driving from? Oh, that wasn't no highway. You were driving state to state.
Up 85.
Right.
My bad.
Well, why are we saying that it's his fault? Because you opened your legs.
All right.
That lady was married to that man.
I wasn't talking about her. His dog's hollow though.
Thank you, Summer Breeze. All right, listen. Have an amazing night. Have an amazing weekend.
Listen, you got more questions? Cause I don't know why you're trying to. What time is it?
Oh, now he got more. Now he want to ask more
11
questions.
o'clock.
Now, when I asked you certain questions, you wanted to cherry pick which.
Nah, I couldn't. There's no answer for that.
No answer
I'm
for
working on
what?
some stuff. I think we'll have a house soon.
Well, here's the thing. Well, let's go into this.
Oh Lord.
You got the baby coming. Y'all got a baby shower
Yeah, we
down
do.
here on Sunday. Is it Sunday?
It's Sunday. 3 to 7.
You live in your house. She live in her house. So how long y'all gonna do that?
Until we're ready to make a move.
Well, y'all fucking and having kids. I mean, what other move needs to?
Because they don't really know.
Because what I don't need is your baby mother, as we say up in the DMV. What I don't need is your baby mother sitting over here talking like Nikki on another podcast.
They don't really know each other yet. The baby wasn't an accident, but it's an accident. A year is not a long time to get to know somebody. And then living with somebody is completely different.
It is.
Than visiting.
You know what? That's why you don't jump into
He
it.
right here putting his dick in this girl raw.
He done shot the club up, bang,
Shot the
bang.
club completely
Baby
up.
shower
Block on
Sunday.
fire. Anyway.
Probably went to get nobody's HIV test. Because you know the
Ooh, wait a minute.
heterosexuals don't get tested like the gays do.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. Truth is the light. The heterosexuals don't get tested like the gays, niece.
That's not the first tape was the problem. The second tape I'm fine with. You're right, we don't. But damn, yeah, throw me in the bus like that. I'm still sitting here. You could have said that when I left.
Well, no, we speaking
the truth.
Yeah, we speaking the truth
Okay,
over here.
So where your papers at?
What, mine? Oh, please, I posted mine on my social media.
That's fine. Where's your papers at?
I got a picture in my
I
thing.
asked what picture. I said papers.
I don't know where the paper is,
I
but that's
know
why I
that.
took a picture of it because I knew I was going to misplace the paperwork.
All right.
But I have my paperwork.
Listen,
I was tested in October because I was home in Maryland for
A
my
man came
mother's
to the
birthday.
restaurant today with a dog, and I said we don't do dogs in the restaurant. He said, "Oh, this is one of them therapy dogs. So where your paperwork at?" I wait.
So you just an ass all the time.
It's not an ass. It's just
Mine is on my
paperwork.
Instagram. Do you know the kids tried to berate me? Talk about, well, you throwing your HIV negative status around the people? You throwing it in people's face? I'm like,
When'd you
People
post
so
that?
sensitive.
I posted them
now.
when?
When?
I posted it in October when I was tested. When were you
Hey,
last
April.
tested? Why he counting my months? When was the last time you were tested?
Why are we talking about this?
Because you said he talking about November, December, January, February, March, April. First of all, you're supposed to get tested every 6 months. I'm still within the 6 month window.
And it's only March.
Correct.
This is 2 against 1. You have paperwork with you too?
What?
Exactly. I'm saying,
Where your paperwork? When were you last tested?
Oh man, that's not good. Ain't nothing on there.
When were you last tested? They saying never. My girl Georgette said never.
She tried me. Georgette, you don't even know me like that.
Back to this relationship though.
Let's go.
Because I have questions. So how long do y'all expect? Because once the baby gets here.
Because she coming. Is it a boy or girl?
Girl.
Yeah, it's definitely, things change when the kid hits the scene. It's not the same. I think.
You got other kids?
Well, don't be whispering it.
Have an amazing night. Brush your teeth, floss your teeth, brush your tongue.
Please brush your tongue.
Yeah, I tell them all the time.
You got to scrape that thing.
Yes, indeed.
Floss too. Floss them.
Yes.
You gotta brush your tongue, brush your teeth, and you got gunk between your teeth.
Yes.
That stank it up too. You ever took the floss out like, what's that smell?
Yes,
that's
indeed.
your breath.
Speaking of smells, have you ever rubbed like right here on the side of your nose and smelled that?
No, that's a stench.
Ooh, that's why you got to do your facials and stuff. You
Got
never
to
smelled
exfoliate.
it?
No, I wash my face, but I don't ever.
But still, when you get that oil down through here and you smell it,
Who does that?
no, you ain't did it good. You got to really get down in there.
You gotta scrape the pores.
And then
The
you smell.
little white things come out, and you look at your nails. You gotta clean your nails out. That's
I
what
don't get them white things.
Oh, okay. Now we friends.
But then even like behind your ear, but even behind your ear,
Please clean behind your ear. That's
like
what
when
the-
you rub behind it, that has a little murky
Your belly
smell.
button, your booty crack, all that.
Now
needs to
who's
be
smelling
washed.
in the belly button?
Listen, if you smell
People
your
do that all.
nose,
You've never seen nobody do that.
no, I haven't either. But you just do it.
It's the white guy at work that does it.
Yeah,
He
he's
just
weird.
be like.
They say you still didn't answer about when you were last tested. they holding you accountable.
Brush your teeth.
Listen.
Brush your teeth,
So it was
floss
over
your
6
teeth.
months ago, unfortunately.
It was
but
over 6
it
months
was.
ago?
I apologize. I missed it.
You ain't gotta apologize to me. That's your health, not mine.
Look, we straight over here.
Look, your status ain't got nothing to do with me.
You know what?
I am a whole
It's
mess.
so true. I apologize. It's over 6 months. I apologize, y'all. I catch you.
Well, has she been tested?
Who?
The baby mama. He's talking about who?
Come on, man. Yes.
He don't know.
How you get
I go to all
all sensitive all of
Right, all of a sudden he all low spirited and talking all low.
Low-spirited,
He
no.
don't even know if she been tested.
Well, listen, we're gonna
Get my auto
listen.
show tickets back over here trying to incriminate me. I'm kidding. Nah, I ain't Indian giver.
I wasn't gonna give it back anyway. So that was that. Yeah, but that's the. I want to know how long this is gonna work out because when a baby comes,
It's
it
gonna
changes
work out.
things.
It's over. It's
I'm in
it's
the
a solid
living
deal.
situation because having a
Good night,
baby
Barbara.
full time, especially if she breastfeed, that is exhausting.
I know.
And you live in Decatur. What part of town she live in?
Smart.
They an hour apart.
And you don't stay 2 nights in a row because that means something, or do you stay 2 nights in a row at her house?
Oh, he
That
ain't.
means something.
So you're not even really committed.
No, I am committed.
Wait,
You
what are we
are
saying about gifted
We're
books,
talking out here.
Tiffany?
We are committed. That's my boo, and she ain't going nowhere, and I got that. Don't worry, I got plans. She knows the plans. I ain't put them out there yet, so because they ain't solid yet, I ain't put them out
Now, see,
there.
you had quoted Steve Harvey earlier. Steve Harvey
Say
is
something.
notorious.
What?
Yeah, talk about the leap, but in the other book where he talked about think like a man,
I ain't read that book.
correct.
I watched
But
the movie.
but I'm sure you saw the movie. So she's behind schedule because see, you haven't given her a plan yet, and y'all been together a year.
He said he gave her a plan. He just ain't solidified it yet.
Well, then he ain't gave her no plan.
She's comfortable. Everybody
That's
trying.
like giving me a cell phone but not putting any service through it.
Well, you got Wi-Fi.
Ooh, that bang.
That bang. That's like giving me a cell phone but not connecting me to Verizon Wireless.
You got cricket. For a time being.
Somebody gifting a book. Is that what Tiffany Smith Bell is saying?
So what about your relationship status, Craig? Okay.
Who mine? I'm
Yeah,
single.
still, okay.
Still?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready.
Ready for what?
To love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm open and available and ready
Mm-hmm.
for partnership. Wait, I'm in the wrong place.
Yes, yes.
But you know, it just hasn't happened.
No rushing, man.
No.
I learned that. Like
Somebody said we're together.
Who we? Y'all?
Somebody in here.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Pinheiro?
Kyle said he's here.
Kyle said he's here. He's ready to get married.
Got options. Swipe left, swipe right, my brother.
Oh, he stays in seasons. Don't ever get that fucked up. He got just because he's single didn't mean he was lonely and didn't have options. He stays in season.
Loneliness is something crazy. Can we talk about that real quick? You ever been lonely?
Oh.
Yo, so I was.
Oh. Look at the Cash App. Bridget, you still in here, niece? Tara Sanders, thank you for the $5 Friday. Thank you, Tara. Bridget, she didn't Cash App me for some Fiji water. Yeah, because Nikki done gave you some of my Fiji water.
Lord.
And then Bridget gifted books for Tina. Mm-hmm. Hey, B Scales, that's Bridget. Who is Tina is in here. Tina, you have the first book, right? But you need
So go back to your long
Bridget gifted you some books.
Yo, so I was listening to
Bernetta, I'm not fooling with y'all these comments.
Like, what you do with loneliness.
Mala, this is my queen of Sheba.
Lust come through loneliness. And I was like, damn, what's that mean? Like, in the past, you feel... You don't necessarily feel like you're lonely till you realize you're lonely because you just start going at the lust. Cause
y'all shady as fuck.
Time for love. It's interesting. That was an interesting concept to think about. You ever felt that way?
I felt what? Because I got
lust and lonely and lustful.
I've confused lust with love, and I've had sex out of loneliness.
But you don't think you could be okay with being alone, not lonely, but being alone and just be horny?
It takes a mindset to understand what you're doing with that alone time.
I mean, yeah, but even in your alone time, you still human, and humans still have needs, and you can be horny.
Yeah, it's cool.
Bridget, you gifted a book for Tina, right? I think Tina has the first book, but you paid for 2. So do I have one more to gift?
So tell me about
I don't know what to do with them.
On the east.
Oh, still. I think it's called Lemon Drops on Wesley Chapel. It's right there, like Home Depot and LA Fitness and everything is right there.
Oh, she needs 2 and 3. Okay, got it.
Dunkin' Donuts, Church's Chicken.
Is it a little plaza?
It's right, because if Dunkin' Donuts like Taco Bell down there, but
note.
Dunkin' Donuts right there, U-turn, it's on the right hand side, right before you get to the highway. It's a restaurant. Not a club, it's like a restaurant lounge.
They'll go out tonight because
you ever been to Pesos?
Nikki's gonna send out these photos.
Where you stay at?
College Park.
Bridget paid for 2 books, but they're both for Tina.
I go to my friend Joyce's house. We went to, what is that?
Barnacles.
No, I have not been to Barkley, but I heard it's open.
Tina, please email me your shipping address again too. I know you emailed it before, but I don't have it still.
I've been to my friend's little favorite hole in the wall. What is that? It's past Wesley Chapel.
No, go past Wesley Chapel.
Oh, it's that little hole in the wall?
Dion, we may as well have a slumber party.
I can't think of the name of it's a little hole. It's a hood hole in the wall.
Thank you, Jessica Gary, for going over to Amazon to purchase.
I don't have
the books.
Free time to go clubbing.
It was my book. It was. We got wait till that coconut oil thing. I'm gonna come back. Compare teeth.
And then you need to get you some of the charcoal toothpaste.
That black stuff.
Yeah.
That works for real.
You see these teeth glowing, don't you?
I don't know.
You see these teeth over here glowing, don't you?
Those real teeth?
Yes, they might.
You had braces?
I did. I had braces for 11 months.
11 months? Or you was
yes.
an adult too?
I was a junior in high school, and I got them off right before I went to college.
What?
No, it was a year and 11 months. I'm sorry. I had them for a year and 11 months.
Was it top teeth or bottom teeth that jacked up?
Okay, to be honest with you, I had a gap in the down here.
You are Nigerian.
Right. Well, first of all, most black people have gaps in their teeth because that's an African trait. Did you know that?
Trait. No, African.
Not just Nigerian, but that's
Liberians.
I don't know what all countries in Africa have it, but what I'm saying is that's an African trait. So when we go now, that's a cultural thing. That when we go and switch and get braces on our mouth to change our teeth, something that's inherently.
You know what's crazy? British people have gaps in their teeth too. They have
British people have trash teeth.
They most certainly do.
I didn't say
you ever
that.
seen that the British Gap? If you look at like old Navy commercials now, Gap commercials. Who else does commercials like that?
That's true.
They're going with the British girls and they're like the Gap. Like, why is British a minority now? You gotta stop playing.
Thank you, Jessica, for purchasing all three. I really, really appreciate you.
That's amazing. I don't know what books you're talking about. I can't read now.
And that books ain't
You don't have 3 books. She's talking about mine.
I know. I'm just trying to be tough with you, my brother.
No. I'm saying you were like, well, I don't know which book she's talking
No,
about.
I didn't. It's all 3 of them. I couldn't read. They went away so fast. Look, we're gone.
Sir, you do know that they're not going out tonight. They close.
Yeah, no, I know. They can go tomorrow. That's fine. Or you know what I'm saying.
It'll be Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, whenever, because they're not gonna go out until Monday, and then they'll have them Tuesday. So if you order your books through me tonight, if you order them through me, they're gonna go out Monday morning. We'll have them Tuesday, because we run good black business over here.
Right.
I'm gonna sign them once I get off this live right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sheena, I'ma hurt you.
The bottom one.
This one?
Yes.
ATM Vision says I'll come pick up my books.
This is
Yeah. My mom's.
I gotta go. Listen, good night. Have a great weekend. Brush your teeth, floss your teeth, brush your tongue.
I just want to say that too.
Oh, come on.
Okay, what happened?
Nikki said good night. Nikki said good night. They said who?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Again, the book is called Help. It's on Amazon, and his website is Kelsey Maynor, KelseyMaynor.com. All right? I'll be on at some point tomorrow. I'm not sure. You know, I don't do 9 o'clock on Saturday, per se. But just turn your notifications on, and I'll be on tomorrow at some point. I am going to upload a Patreon video, too. I may do it tonight. I'll do it tonight. All right? Bye. Thank you for supporting the book tour and purchasing the books and the Hey Niece mugs and the Hey Girl Hey mugs and the So Much to Say podcast. Bridget, thank you for supporting more Fiji water over here. You know, because the people come over here to get the drinking my shit up. Now, if he wanted some more water, he was definitely going to get some City Punch from out of the spigot.
I got
the City Punch.
Right out of them.
You got City Punch?
She gonna give him a bottle of water. Gonna get some City Punch for herself.
Because I know 2 bottles would have just sent you over the edge, and we don't need you like that tonight.
I'm saying. Is this Fiji water?
We got. Well, you want to send a case over here? I mean, you own restaurants and shit. You want to send?
All I gotta do is ask.
Oh, well, send me a case.
You ask for help.
Help.
You know what? Forget it,
Help.
Can I have some of those? That French
She's
toast.
trying to get something off the menu. She's trying to get something off the menu.
You got pineapple juice in the car.
Don't have no damn pineapple juice.
Pineapple
I need
juice.
some.
Pineapple juice is good for you.
You never lied.
What kind of? What in the can?
What else? How else is pineapple?
Well, it comes in the plastic container too now.
No, it does not.
It does come in a plastic
The
container.
little one.
No, it comes in a big plastic container too.
Like lemon juice.
Pineapple. Aren't we talking about pineapple?
I know, but it's like the lemon juice bottle, like that one.
No, it comes in like a 64 fluid ounce type thing.
I never seen about it in a can, my brother.
If I didn't know any better, I would swear you were Leo. I'm just playing Leo.
He's definitely stubborn.
And combative.
Yes, he is.
Got to have the last word.
I think it has a little bit to do with the liquor.
That drink has gone through his
No,
system.
he was at the bar before he came here.
Don't judge me.
Oh, that's right. He did
I'm
say
always
that.
like this.
This is a judgment-free zone. You are not, because you sat with us at our table for a good 30, 45 minutes, and you were not this combative. You were actually very flirtatious.
It was women.
And?
It's different. We're man on man right now. You ever seen a sword
But no,
fight?
you was sitting here being combative with me, too.
When?
When we were talking about my son's father.
What I say about him? That was combative.
Your whole demeanor, your body language, your tone of voice.
I said we're talking about the child.
Woo. Okay.
Were we not talking about the child?
Good night, Jinx.
I did this and that. I was like, oh, child. We're talking about the children, how they respond to things. I'm realizing that.
Anyway, good night, y'all.
I'll say good night like 20 minutes.
I know.
Mom, what's up? We had the slumber party. You right. Who said slumber party? We all chilling now. No? Okay, I'm being kicked out.
I ain't kick you out.
You ain't not kick me out.
Well, I didn't say good night.
You ain't say you got to go home, but you got to get there.
No, I was actually talking about the pineapple juice because I could add that to my bar, like with
Oh, so now you want pineapple juice?
for a chaser. But no, I'm really interested in the Fiji water that you can send over here since you have the address and stuff.
I apologize if I was combative. I didn't mean to be that way.
Well, you ain't got to apologize to her. You need to apologize. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
This your first? Well, this your first?
No, he said he had other children.
My son's 10.
Oh, so you just have
was 7.
one other one. Oh, you have 2 other ones.
Yeah, man, I got a family.
Are you fertile?
He got a. Oh.
10, 7, and 0. I don't know why people say that fertile stuff. We're talking about.
Because you have more than one.
We're talking about over years.
Watch this.
You still got
Do the first 2 have the same mother?
Why are you watching this? Good night.
Because they know who I am.
They know who I am too. You know
They know my line
they
of
ain't the
questioning.
same. Stop playing.
Do they have the same mother?
No, you already knew that. That's why you asked that sneaky question. Judge me.
I'm not judging.
no judgment.
My grandma had 6 kids.
We ain't talking about your
First one
grandmother.
had
We talking about
16.
you.
I'm just saying we gotta stop doing this to each other.
Doing what?
Whatever you're trying to do.
I'm not judging you.
Yeah, listen.
I'm just trying to establish the pattern.
Listen.
I'm trying to
What pattern?
as
What
a
pattern
young
goes from 10
Did
to-
you like the bang, bang, bang?
and not commit.
We're talking about 10 years of bang, 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 skeet, skeet, skeet.
How
and-
long was you with her before the 10-year-old?
Huh?
You heard
How
of
The
it.
10-year-old? That
Yeah.
was my college sweetheart.
So how long were y'all together?
I don't know. Was it
Oh,
college?
you know.
I'm talking about 10 plus years ago?
Okay, and then the one that's 7. How long were you with his mother or her mother?
You got 2 girls or a boy and a girl?
Her boy and a girl.
I don't know, that right there caught me off guard. If you ever been caught off
Why did
guard
they catch you
before-
off guard?
Man, I did not. When that girl told me she was pregnant, I said, "Oh my God,
Which one?
congratulations!" To my daughter's mother. Congratulations. Do I know the guy?
See,
No, you didn't say no shit like
look,
that.
I hadn't seen her in like
Look,
5
he was putting his dick in there raw back then too.
What do you mean this? What?
Do you
So
use
every
condoms?
time- Do you use condoms
I do.
every time?
We're talking about you. No, I don't use them every
All
time.
right then.
But
I'm just saying we're talking about over 10 years. You're talking about like how many kids you got?
it's just one
Just one
from
kid?
her ex-husband.
When y'all was married, y'all had
Absolutely. I said that a moment ago. You missed
Where
that.
your kids at?
I have none.
What you waiting on?
I don't want any kids right
He's
now.
going to adopt Shane for me so I can go out and live life to the fullest.
So wait a minute. So my question is, because see, Iyanla believes in pathology, talks about pathologies and interrupting the battle.
Mm-hmm.
And so since she's not here, I'm going to step into her shoes as Gay Iyanla Van Zandt. So as Gay Iyanla Van Zandt, the question is, you like that? Gay Iyanla Van Zandt. So listen, you have 3 children, 3 different baby mothers. That's how we say it in Maryland, D.C., and Philly, in Northern
How you
Virginia.
away with the Philly?
Because they say that too.
Your baby mother?
So you got 3 baby
Mothers,
mothers, and 3 children. So are you? So again, are you gonna ever like
Settle down.
settle down?
Oh, I'm done.
Is somebody going to make a decent man out
Not
of
just
you?
being done with children, but like
No, I'm done. I'm done.
done what?
I'm done. Jesus bless me with a good one.
But, and I'm just being
So do you see-
devil's advocate
Why would
here.
we bring the devil into this? I just said Jesus. You want to bring the devil into
Oh,
it.
they want to know if you're paying child support.
My son, nah, we good. My daughter, I just got put on child support 2 weeks ago. She petty, but it's okay because I still take care of my children.
Okay.
I wish I got child support.
Listen, she ain't got it yet. She just put me on child support
But no,
after I paid
so wait,
school,
you said
summer school, and clothes and all that stuff.
Your
It's
son's
interesting.
mom
I
was
sent
your
them both
college
for school, by the
sweetheart.
way. Go ahead.
Right, your son's mom was your college sweetheart.
They said, "Are you done
So-
fucking?"
So what happened there? Because you said 10 years.
Crystal Woods.
So
is a
what
mess.
happened there?
Oh, that thing. Oh God. I had this ego.
I could see that.
Oh, we know.
Whoa.
One of the best parts of life is when you can admit the truth to yourself about yourself. That's the opening line of the chapter in here called Testing the Waters.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. So in college, I had this ego, and she was the AKA, the tall, pretty one that ran track, and she was really mean to everybody. but she won't mean to me.
So you felt like you were able to conquer her.
Conquer is just a very interesting word.
Let's just call it what it is, because that's what I'm getting. She
Well,
was mean to everybody, but
she was.
You better say that, Mrs. Scouting Pro. She said
this
is a live PSA to all you single women in here.
Well, listen up.
Well, what is the message so I can make sure I receive it?
Pay attention to the signs. The baby mama right now. Serious question. Mm-hmm. So why the girl that you're dating now? Why should she expect any different from what you've given the first two?
She didn't know what I gave the first two, so why would she expect anything?
Well, she know about the other kids, right?
What that got to do with how I treat her?
Because you're
no, it's not about how you treat her.
I'm just saying, like, how would she expect to be better or different than anything she doesn't know about?
He getting a little rustled now.
I'm just curious. Like, how do you start?
Well, because that was your college sweetheart. Mm-hmm. Y'all created a son. Mm-hmm. But then you guys are not together. Mm-hmm. Then you met another young lady. You created a daughter, but then y'all are not together. Mm-hmm. Now you have another young lady. You guys have created a daughter.
And y'all live in separate houses right now. Mm-hmm. And you haven't really given her a succinct plan.
Does she have a promise ring?
Promise ring?
A Letterman's coat.
What does she know that for?
Oh.
Does that make you feel better?
I mean, that's why people get married.
You had a Letterman's coat when you was in high school?
No.
I know. You had
a promise ring before? Shoes, though.
Yep. No, I ain't never had no promise ring, but I ain't never had no kids either.
I did get a diamond tennis bracelet once.
Where's that?
In my dresser drawer.
Where is he at?
He's dead.
I'm sorry. I don't know to be. We did, but all this stuff you asked me now had nothing to do with the relationship.
I mean, it does.
It does not.
Because what dissolved the relationship with your first child's mother?
Anger.
With you or her?
Both.
Why?
Triggers.
What? Triggers like what? Because there's going to be triggers in every relationship.
Every relationship.
I remember I said earlier, you'll realize the things that push your buttons or what doesn't push your buttons, what you feel, what you don't feel. My son's mother, we had a relationship where her tumultuousness in public became something that I thought I could. Like, when we're together, it's cool. Outside of here, I'm embarrassed by you. I don't like being embarrassed by people. I don't have to. You ever have like comments like, no, babe, it's not that serious. No, he's just. Why I'm doing all this apologizing for you. Control your damn self. Mm-hmm. You can't. And we can't operate in public because my public image and how people are like, oh, I love Kelsey, I'll come to the restaurant, I'll buy this, but this and that. And then you, hellion. We don't mesh in that way. But I didn't see that when I was a college student.
Miss Scouting said, what's the call-in number? Call in on Nikki's phone. No, just we'll put you on speakerphone. I'm just playing.
So what happened? I know that with your daughter's mother, it was unexpected, but did you not try to make that something?
No.
Why?
It wasn't that.
But why? If she was good enough to sleep with, why would she be not
good enough to sleep with?
Yeah.
You ever slept with somebody that wasn't good enough to sleep with?
No, because I'm a prize. Everybody I sleep with is good enough.
That sounds good. I appreciate you for understanding that. Everybody don't understand that. I tried to tell y'all that when we were talking about loneliness and lust. I didn't get that, so I messed up. It's my fault.
But okay, but this.
But just because I recognize my fault, don't mean I go and try to write something I wasn't never supposed to be right in the first place. This wasn't meant for me.
But why did you think that she wouldn't be meant for you?
Honestly, because
it sounds like you didn't really know her, but did you take the time, like after she was pregnant, like, well, let me get to know and see what you were
I'll tell you about me right now and what's going on in my relationship right now. There's certain things about me that I really enjoy doing. Talking about Jesus, drinking alcohol, going to the parties, and also being at home. I enjoy all those four things. And there was always a relationship I was in, like my son's mother picked up back with her Jewish religion. Which is interesting. I'm not anything against Jewish versus Catholic versus Christianity. All that. No, she's black.
They're black Jews, Nikki.
She white. She tried me.
Well, no, because most of the people are like more so Israelite, like not so much as Jewish, but Israelite.
Nah. But I knew one thing about me is I like to be able to have conversations about Jesus. I like to be able to have conversations about the world. I like having conversations, and both those relationships I couldn't do those things all myself. I mean, like I couldn't talk about those things and you have conversations about me. Mainly it was a part about me in religion. Like every girlfriend I've had, we had sexually, yeah, it's amazing, it's great, have fun, we're gonna drink this and that, but we can't talk about Jesus. I was missing that part.
JB moving to the smoke-free section.
she's the one that keeps me in tune, and I really appreciate that because there's times.
Baby, when I say they want the call in so badly.
What was that?
Like you jump from relationship.
You
to
monkey bar
relationship.
from one to the next.
Nah.
Because you just something you said was interesting, and you were just saying like in all of these relationships that you've been in, you've been
Cola.
X, Y, and Z. It just sounds like you like a serial dater.
Nah, I don't like dating at all. I like getting to know people, and I don't like considering dating. I just like to get to know people, and if it works, it works. It doesn't, it doesn't.
That's what dating is.
No,
you getting to know people.
Getting to know people is getting to know people. Dating is dating. Girlfriend, boyfriend is made up.
Well,
and
how
marriage
is
is
dating
serious.
any different from getting to know
What the hell
somebody?
is dating?
Dating is getting to know somebody.
So why do we call it dating? Is it different?
Different from what?
I don't know. What is it?
It's different from a relationship.
What's a relationship?
When you're no longer spending time with other people.
Why is that?
Because you've committed to this one person.
Why? The commitment is only through documentation and God. So there's only
No,
marriage.
that's a marriage. We talk about a relationship.
What the hell is a relationship?
A relationship is two
Friendship?
people who have decided. That
Oh,
they
you
wanna
can
be
add onto the
committed.
live. If you're over here on Facebook, I can add you to the live if you have a question.
Yeah, jump on in.
Oh Lord, no!
What is
Wait
a
a minute.
relationship?
We're not gonna. We're gonna be on our best behavior, but no, it's two people who have decided that they are going to
What
be committed
definition
to
is
each other.
this? It's made up.
No, it's not.
What is the definition of?
I just gave you my
That's
definition.
your
of
definition. That's
You
called
asked me what my
That's
definition
called
of
a
a
connotation or a
relationship is.
denotation. I should have been specific.
But you were not, so that is my
So
definition.
your definition of a relationship is two people
Two
making
people
a
who
conscious
have
effort.
decided that they are going to be committed to each other.
Mrs.
And what-
Scouting said the call-in number is.
As in, I'm not going to date anyone else or get to know anybody else on a relationship type level. I don't plan on sleeping with anybody else. I want to be committed to you. And then we can take this commitment. We can see if this commitment is going to lead us to marriage as we continue to get to know each other. Or we gonna go our separate ways and maybe continue to sleep with each other. I mean, it really depends on what it is we're both trying to be committed to.
I've asked this question, not saying that doesn't make sense and that's not a great plan of action on how to go about relationship. I'm always curious of how many times you tried that and how many times it's worked.
Well, I tried a relationship. I got married. Then I realized that the marriage didn't change until the child came. That's when things got different.
Well, I'm just saying we did all this to do what? All these stipulations and these
Well, the
relationship
marriage was to
barriers.
spend the rest of our lives together
But
and raise our family.
how many relationships have you been in? You can round, it's okay. You gotta be like spot on accurate. Like don't say like 17 and a half. That wouldn't
No.
count.
I've dated plenty, but in terms of relationships, I've been in maybe... I've maybe been in 5.
In these 5 relationships, have there ever been like some stipulation that you had to be like the meet the category of relationship that I'm going to commit or be exclusive or whatever terminology or adjectives we use to describe this relationship?
Yeah, there were things. There were things that...
My question is, did they matter?
For me to decide to get into the
For
relationship?
me, get in a relationship and do this and then still not work out, at what point it was like, no, what, maybe these stipulations I have don't matter.
Well, see, I don't really look at them as stipulations. I look at them as boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think every relationship should have boundaries. And I think what happens is most people go into relationships with their idea of what the boundaries are. Even if you don't explicitly say, I don't want you cheating. That's usually an understood kind of boundary. But what happens is oftentimes when people get into relationships, those boundaries get stretched.
Mm-hmm.
And people just start trying to ease and do little things and whatever it is.
I'm gonna pay.
And then you're like, oh, well,
I'm
wait a
gonna paint
minute.
a fairy tale to you real quick. There's 2 people. I'll be ambiguous about the 2 people. There's 2 people, and they get to know each other over time through experiences, whether it's friendship, whether it's at the bar, whether it's at a family member's house. There's experiences that was holidays, whatever the case may be, in and out of different experiences. And as they experience each other, regardless of we're getting closer as we experience each other or not, we're just it can be parallel, we're just as friends or whatever you want to call it, maybe we're intertwining at some point in time throughout that time period. But we're getting to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing you in your element, you see me in my element. I'm growing, you're growing, but we're still intertwining in certain spaces. It's just how communication and conversation and relationship goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not saying you committed anything or made any promise or any conversation of this is something, other than what we're doing now just is, right? Mm-hmm. And then you realize, because maybe in that same time period, you've dealt with other people as well. Like, this person's here, now they're not here. This person's here, now they're not here. It happens. Mm-hmm. But you realize that this person is still respecting you and loving you and caring for you and being just as friendly, as supportive as is anything else. To the point that you realize, you know what? I've been looking to my left and never looked to my right for real.
I get from you don't really want to be committed and locked down.
That's not what I just said. What I was saying.
I get what you're saying.
Well, no, hear me out, because I want to finish. I want to finish this
things.
Hypothetical situation real quick.
Okay.
Because what happens is,
speaking,
you never know what you need or what you have until you've gone through experiences. You've gone through experiences that you realize what you need and what you don't need, what you like, what you don't like. It's through experiences. Like every breakup, every girlfriend, every relationship I've been in has been a blessing for me to understand, number one, what angers me, what triggers me, what gets me frustrated, what I need to work on in a relationship, what I need to give, what I need to take away, what I need to put a boundary. Is cool.
Shayna.
But I have to get to this place. Like every relationship you've been in has been a changing point and the elevation and a mental stimulant to be like, I get myself more. The more you understand yourself and what you need and what you don't need and what I truly value is peace. When I was in the homeless situation, I stayed at a girl's house and I sat on the couch and her house was so peaceful. And I never knew about peace in the household. So my house has always been not tumultuous, but it's been loud. When I moved out of high school and went to college, my house had music and people in it all the time. And
was that your parents' house too, like that?
Mrs. Scouting said, if you don't give me a call-in number.
all my friends would come over to my parents' house, and all my basketball players on the band and everything. So my house was always active. And so I didn't realize how much I appreciated and needed that silence to be able to just go home by myself and just be like, just chill and nobody pulling on me and tugging on me at times, other than my kids now. But it was quiet. It was peaceful. It was mine. It was not controlled it. And it took me a long time to understand that part about me. And so now I don't look for the tumultuousness of the bickering and the chase as much as I'm looking for somebody that can keep me calm, keep positive, peaceful.
But the peace should start from within.
You're right.
And
I didn't until I couldn't attract what I didn't know. And so once I realized the peace in myself, and it took me this period of writing the book and that whole period to bring out the peace that attracted the bee that needed the honey. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that. Maybe I was putting out vinegar and expecting to get some sweetness from it. I didn't. Mm-hmm. So it took this whole period and process of time of going through the ups and downs, this and that, to realize more about myself. That's why I say it's a lot about self, that how you deal with other people and how people deal with you. Mm-hmm. That I found somebody that I related on all the levels I really wanted to relate on.
And that's what you found with this girl?
Absolutely.
So why don't you have a plan?
Plan for what?
Like moving together, getting married.
I didn't say we didn't. I just said it wasn't disclosed enough that I could say it on a public platform like this. You might have said that?
No.
Okay.
You said
it was on recording. I know the podcast got it.
No, you had said. No. Well, what we? Yeah, I said so. You're not. I said you live in Decatur and she lives in Smyrna. And so, like, there's no plan for you to move together or live together. You said, no, I'm not doing that.
So, no, I got something going on, but it ain't solidified.
Oh, you may have said that in your mind. Cause you didn't.
No, he said it.
He said no. Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did. He said it. He said it.
My apology. I stand corrected.
Want some Fiji water?
No. I'm trying to offer me something.
I think it's, I don't know, maybe I am more old school to that fact, because I feel like if you have a plan, then we have a plan together. Like, if we're in a relationship, our goal is to navigate these waters together. And if you are going to lead, I need to know where it is we going, and I need to be able to trust in your vision so that I can help you get to where it is that we.
Sometimes if you trust my vision, you need to know where we're going. You know you're following me.
I can't.
Then that's not trust.
I can't follow blindly.
What do you mean? Absolutely. That's what we're taught, right?
No, that's
You
not.
can't follow blindly. I thought trust was like, I trust you enough to know that where we're going, wherever it is we're going, I could be walking behind you like Bird Box, but I know that you're taking me somewhere.
But I feel like
safe.
If you're going to be my man, you should be able to share my vision because you might have a plan, but my thoughts may make it better.
What if I don't have the complete plan yet? You still trust me? No, I'm getting it.
What if you don't have the complete plan, but
Well,
you
better
tell
talk to
me and I
Jesus.
help you finish?
Somebody said this is why
God will tell me to talk to you, and then we'll have a conversation.
Somebody said this is why my homegirls don't know if they the main chick, because he's talking in riddles.
Matter.
It does matter.
Fuck that.
It does.
I'm
but
cussing
see,
again.
But see, this is part of the reason why I'm single, because I've run, and I think you are a really good demonstration or representation of, dare I say it?
Please.
The way some black men are non-committal, gay and straight. Mm-hmm. And listen, and I know that there are spaces and rooms and conversations where people don't like to hear that, especially black men, straight and gay. And I've had people argue me down, like, well, how could you say? Because there are white men that are non-committal. Okay, I understand it. There are Asian men that are non-committal. But for the purpose of this conversation, we're talking about black men and how it's gay and straight and bisexual and whatever else. But it's almost like it comes up so often, and I can't speak for white men because I don't date white men. I'm talking about in my experience with black gay men and in the experiences of the women that I'm friends with. And this is why I say on here all the time, I'm coming to it. I got to paint the picture. But part of it, and I say this all of the time, the true connection between women and gay men, the thing that really undergirds us is our experiences dating men. We have similar heartbreaks. We have similar disappointments. We have similar letdowns. That's the shit that really binds us. We're not ostensibly, at first glance, we're binded. People think that we're connected because we like fashion and shit. That's the surface shit. The shit underneath that, when you really get to excavating, it's because we have similar heartbreaks and disappointments with our experiences with men. And what I have found, and people say to me all the time, well, Craig, why are you single? And I always give this really, really wonderful, esoteric answer. But the bottom line is, because I keep running into fuck niggas.
It's described that.
And non-committal. Like they afraid of their feelings, and I think it goes all the way back to childhood. Again, not being able to emote, not being able to express. And before you email me and text me, what I'm saying, I know it's not everybody because I'm not a demonstration of that. So I know that there's somebody else, there are other men, black men, that heterosexual and straight, that want partnership. But what I'm saying is oftentimes you run men and women, black men and black gay men, black gay men and black women run into this same type of guy who will do this little dance like they really want to do it. But then when you get into the thick of it, it's like, well, wait a minute, this is too heavy for me. This is too serious. And it's just like, you just pull back from partnership. I want partnership. I need partnership.
Let's talk about it. Where all men don't pull back at the same time. Where do they pull back at?
When it's come for commitment.
What's the commitment about?
Being monogamous.
Is it the monogamy that's really
and building a life together?
Is it really the monogamy that gets people stuck up?
I think that's what trips up a lot of men.
I think
because they feel like they're gonna miss out.
They feel like they're gonna miss out on something.
It's like a little kid. It's the fear of missing out.
Is this an assumption?
No. This is life experiences. And then the other part of it.
Let me explain that situation.
I talk to a lot of guys. I hang with a lot of guys.
I don't think a lot of guys understand what the hell's going on. That's why we talk about mental health in the first place. I don't think they.
Oh, we back on mental health.
It has to be. We're talking about mental health. We're talking about how men process relationships, and if they do or do not process monogamy or even commitment. We're asking the question of how do you feel about this mental health? What I'm saying is a lot of men, as I experience, is that it comes to a point, and I'm talking about
his marvelous life.
What you get to a point where is, can I provide? Do I know where I'm going with this? If I'm familiar with this territory, and am I confident that what you're expecting me to do, I can do? So it's much easier for me to talk to a chick that's only surface level, who's not asking me deeper than what I'm ready to think about, or I'm prepared to think about, or I feel comfortable.
But when you start to function like you're in a relationship, I'm thinking that you've already thought about it.
That's fine. You always assume that, but I know that you're just as scared and just as unknowing as I am. But it's fine because at the end of the day, when you're looking at a particular man, you're looking at him to have a plan. She said, "Well, if I'm following you, I need to know the plan. This and that. If I don't have the plan, I can't tell you how to plan because you gonna start questioning me like I ain't got shit."
But the point
But
is,
what I'm saying
oftentimes,
the point is that we have a problem communicating in these particular areas. And she said something that I love, and I want to come back to, is that because maybe I have the answer to the problem that you can't figure out. But I'm getting defensive because I'm trying to answer your question knowing I don't know, and I'm scared to say I don't know it. I'm scared.
What I'm saying
and we
is,
went right back to the very beginning when you said that what happens when you're scared to ask for help. A lot of our black men, it's not that we have fear of commitment, it's fear of not knowing where we're going, how we're leading.
but you function as if you do.
Listen,
you didn't put your dick in this girl.
Every fucking body does.
You didn't put your dick in this. You didn't put your.
At all.
I'm not. Hold on. I didn't say it was a black man thing. I said, but for the purpose of this conversation, we're examining black men.
I'm talking about how do you help, and the book. I give a shit about this book. I'm talking about now we're in a place where now we're talking about real stuff.
But at what point do you step back and sit down and say, okay, what is it that I really want? After you've had three children,
where I know I'm really going. You're questioning me. I know where I'm going. I'm good.
Well, see, this is the thing.
I'm just saying, but other people, I've seen this happen before. I've recognized my experience in the past. I wrote a book about it. I know the issues that I've run into that I'm speaking on because I've been there. I've talked to you about it. I'm just saying it's not always as simple as monogamy. It's more of what do I think I provide? Do I feel confident in myself? Do I even think I can lead a family? I have no fucking idea about it.
But you're functioning as if you can.
So what? So you on a business on Instagram, but we know your shit's fucked up. I'm not talking about you.
No, I know.
That's what we do, and we don't know any other way.
Guys who may have felt that way, and then they meet a woman who makes them think of these things, and then they realize like, oh, okay, she's helping me to become a better man, a better person. And now they have the vision, they have the guidance, and this is who they want to settle down with. So maybe when they got into this dating thing, they weren't sure about it, but then they meet that woman because a woman will help to elevate a man to a place that he never even thought that he could be.
And what I've learned and what I know to be true, beloved, because we still gay yalla, is what I know to be true is a lot of men run from women, a lot of straight men run from women who are self-sufficient and independent. It's like a woman that's educated, has her own shit, don't have children. It's like they're kryptonite.
No, don't make it think like they run from the woman. They run from
Listen,
themselves.
I know.
It's not the woman.
They're running from
themselves.
I'm gonna tell you this.
They're running from a barrier that I don't have yet. I'm running from myself. I'm running from the fear of being exposed. I'm running from the fear of being less than. I'm running from that. It has nothing to do with you. It can be another man in the room that makes me feel less than.
I'm gonna tell you what they're running because they're running from a woman that's gonna require them to fix a part of themselves to earn her.
What it is it goes all the way back to a systemic situation where we're scared to be less than. We feel like we have to be powerful and controlling and stuff. It is very nerve-wracking for people.
They're running from a woman
how do you feel,
who is going to require him to grow up.
When you weren't in a financial place or a professional place that you wanted to be.
Now, but then I'm also seeing guys who were not in a financial place
exactly
who will find a way to finance some pussy.
Let's go back to the situation. Everything isn't about money. Everything that touches me is me. I don't get touched by money.
No, I'm not saying you specifically.
What I'm saying is that every person isn't touched by the same things. Like, it may not be money that I have a problem with. It may be something else I have a problem with that you bring out of me that I'm not ready to address yet. And it's cool. It's a mental health situation where how I feel about myself. It's not you. It can be another man, another situation. It's what you're bringing out of me that's insecure that I'm running from.
Shut up,
it
JB.
Not be you at all.
JB talking about he double parked outside.
What I'm saying?
I mean, I get it, but then
we'll condemn the black man and be like, no, fuck that. We need to know what you got going on. But in all honesty, they don't. Get into a business where you're doing a startup and the CEO doesn't necessarily have the complete vision of where this business is going.
But you know what I have. You know what I have a problem with. You know what I have a problem with. Whenever there's a conversation where we have to talk about what's required to heal black men, or heal black women, or heal black gay men, or whatever. The piece that always comes up is, well, that's not only us. You got hold on. You got white men that do this. There are white women that do that. But the only way to really heal ourselves is to really dig up that wound. It's
not just a black thing, but understand that at a point in time, we have to stop being so aggressively. Like, it's not, I'm not trying to call you out on your shit. I'm sorry I'm cussing so much, mama. I'm trying to call you on your shit, but I'm trying to help you. And a lot of times helping, it comes off as you being...
But who's helping you?
Listen, it's you being offensive and then me being defensive that keeps us from communicating and getting past the situation. That's all I'm saying. I'm able to sit around and talk through frustration and be like...
ATM Visions, who is this? I don't recognize this number.
I'm not scared to keep here and talk about it. Some people would have walked out, but now like R. Kelly tried to do. But sometimes you gotta talk about it, brother. You can stand up all day, but sit back down and finish this conversation. You know what I mean? The interview is not over.
But my thing is, we never really can get to the healing process because we're always so worried about. We always shift the dynamic of the conversation, so we don't. Well, there are white men that do it, just like an example of the whole R. Kelly thing.
Me, well, you got this and you should have had that. Well, what are you trying to do with this? Well, you didn't buy her a promise ring or this and that. That's when you shift the conversation. We're talking about two people who are totally different, have two different experiences, talking about what I've been through, what I've experienced, and how I'm trying to get through it with you.
Well, the reason I said that is because my dad always told me that a man knows what he wants. If that woman is what he wants, he will do whatever he needs to do that is necessary to get this woman. And if the man is not doing that, then you are not the one.
I can agree and I can disagree. Not saying to agree to disagree. I can agree and disagree. Some men are built like that. Some men aren't built like that. Some people know how to communicate what they want and go get it, and some people can't. There's a man right now she was with that had a vision of being an entrepreneur and just kept working at that 9-to-5 job, knowing he wanted to do this because he didn't know that I wanted this, but I don't know how to go after it. It's different sometimes.
But see, if it was a man that I was with and he told me that, I'm going to help you.
That's wonderful. But if he told you that, but every man doesn't know how to communicate. We're back to this whole thing of helping each other. How do I learn how to talk to myself so I can get these words out of my mouth?
You know what I want to know from you? What is it that you think black men need help with?
Depends on what black man you're talking about. I can't speak in general. It never works.
You've been speaking in general.
No,
you've been making gross generalizations tonight.
Talking about myself and what I've experienced.
You have made generalizations tonight.
Like what? Give me one. Don't even do it. It's not worth it. However, I can't tell you what black men need because every black man's experience isn't the same. Like your situation may be different than my situation.
I just feel like that there are a lot of boys playing dress up in grown men's clothing that there are some who have not effectively learned to communicate, and to me those are the ones who usually lash out and get physical. I feel like...
No, it's funny. I've had more physical altercations with women being aggressive with me than...
I'm not saying that women don't get aggressive, but...
I'm saying, yes, I agree wholeheartedly that we have a problem communicating things, so we get frustrated when we're being misunderstood. My girl, the only time I've seen her cry is like 3 or 4 times. It's always when she's trying to communicate something and it's not being received or understood, and it frustrates her trying to get me to understand what she's trying to say, or vice versa. We're trying to get somebody to understand. She gets emotional.
Because you're stubborn as hell, so I can see that.
Yeah, damn right.
Recalcitrant.
But what I'm saying is we have this conversation, and frustration happens when you can't communicate effectively. It goes back to even speaking languages and cultures. But what I'm saying is that, yes, there's a culture thing that you have to understand how to communicate with one person to another person individually. Like the way I talk to you, I can't talk to him the same way I talk to you. It's different. You may have different feelings and trigger words that I have to learn how to communicate with you effectively. And so when it comes down to violence and frustration, I wanted to say this earlier on the podcast, but this book also helps you understand how you communicate with yourself, because sometimes I may want to say, yo, where did you get this shirt from, though? Like it's one of them air breathable ones you wear to the gym. It's a nice shirt. Mm-hmm. But because I don't want to seem gay, I'm not going to say.
Well, that's something you need to work on.
Listen.
Go ahead.
It's always about who? Self. Thank you. So what I'm saying is I don't know how to communicate that I like your shirt. Where did you get it from? Because I need looking for some workout shirts. But I feel like I'm giving you a compliment because I'm giving you a compliment in society. If I'm sitting here talking about, oh, that's a nice shirt, I'm going to feel gay. And because I don't want to feel gay, I'm not going to say nothing. So I'm looking at you, want to say, that's a nice shirt. So you look at me and say, yo, what you staring at me for, bro?
Yeah, because I think that's more gay than asking where you got the shirt.
But what I'm saying is I don't know how to communicate that. I don't know how to say it without being awkward. So in my mind, I'm processing this. And the whole time, I'm just sitting here looking at your shirt. Like, yo, what you looking at, dog? And, your homeboy's like, yo, why you standing up like that? What, you gay? And so
that's ignorant.
How ignorant is not being able to communicate? That's what we call people who can't communicate. They're ignorant.
So how do you think
hold on, real quick. So when you get to this place where you don't know how to communicate and you're fearful of communicating because of how you're perceived, it creates this rift. So I'm saying, yo, what you looking at? You're like, what you mean, bro? Why you coming to me so aggressive? And we can get into an altercation, and all I wanted to give you was a compliment. It's very simple like that on communication. That's all I'm saying.
So how do you feel is the best way for men to learn to communicate?
It's not just men. It's how you communicate with other people. It's like, how do you learn to communicate with man to man, man to woman, man to adult, man to child?
How do you think the best way is to communicate, especially in a world of texters? And IMers and DMers.
Yes, I don't know. I like to meet people in person.
Yeah, but we don't live in that age.
My girl Nicoya over in Chicago said,
What you say?
bottom line is he gonna keep fucking and making babies until he meets a woman that refuses to let him hit and run.
Do me a favor, DM me so I can invite you to the wedding. I appreciate it.
You think you gonna marry her?
I think I'll invite you to the wedding if you DM me. And that's not even like I can holler at you. I'll just invite you to the wedding. You're welcome.
Weddings are expensive. You can't just be inviting any and old.
Now you're trying to cut my pockets.
I mean, I'm not trying to. I'm just saying weddings are expensive.
You never lied. But I'm having a baby shower at Revel. That's crazy too. It is crazy. I don't know why she says there'll be 150 people there. I don't know what's happening.
Well, listen, I need to go situate my situation because I'm.
You gotta send this thing out. You say you're gonna send something out.
What thing?
You say you're gonna send
Oh,
something
the Patreon. Yeah, I'm gonna upload the Patreon. I need to go situate my situation. I've been to the gym. I was trying to. Thank you, Christina.
An hour later, we just say goodbye.
Well, you know, I mean,
listen, we can keep going. What you gotta do?
Because I got to get up in a couple of hours.
We all do. I'm just saying, we got more questions.
Nikki, send me your hours, girl. You done ran up my my hourly rate over
So
here.
what happened is the other day she came, you were still asleep, remember? So she had nothing to do. So she tried to make up for the hours she missed.
And I
earlier.
still ain't signed the books that need to go out, so she still can't leave yet. Hold on, I gotta sign these orders.
Well,
Are these
Listen.
dishes dirty or clean in the dishwasher?
Those are dirty in the dishwasher, yeah. Listen, I already said brush your teeth, floss your teeth. I'll see y'all tomorrow. And if you're on Patreon, I'm gonna upload something for y'all.
I love y'all, man. Real talk. I love everybody. Everything's done with love.
Oh, Dan Twan said, here's $20. He didn't cash at me. Here's $20 for Uber money so he can go home.
Oh, I drove. It's all good. But I appreciate the gas money.
You think I'm gonna give you that $20?
Oh, well, that's free.
I'm gonna use that $20 for
this
this
podcast for free.
for this Fiji water you just drank
I
up in
already
here.
paid for that Fiji water. Now you can overflow. Give it from the overflow.
I just want my pineapple juice.
Was she DMing me for real? Oh, no. This is...
I need to come over to that restaurant and eat for free.
I'm gonna come to the one on the east side, to the club.
Oh, you got one on the east side?
You got a club. It's a lounge. I'm sorry.
He's just promoting all his business all across the world. Over here on. They said, "What's your IG?"
Mine, what's up, Kels? WHATSUPKELS.
Love you, Shy Shy.
Thank you.
The name of your food spot is the Atlanta Breakfast Club. Now, the food was good. I will tell you that.
Appreciate that.
The food was good.
I know.
How was your service?
When me and Joy, we tried damn near everything on the menu for
The
breakfast.
service was good. I will come back. Like, I'm a foodie, so like I like to eat. Now, I used to like one of my favorite breakfast places is and I haven't been in a while. Highland Bakery.
Yeah. I used to go there. They had the peanut butter French toast.
They had the sweet potato French toast.
Something. It was a lot.
I mean, sweet potato pancakes.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet potato pancakes.
Yeah, peanut butter French toast too. It's like,
Peanut butter French toast.
yeah, it's a lot.
That's an interesting combination.
Yeah, bananas.
Am I getting my pineapple juice or no? We were just talking.
She want her pineapple juice.
Oh, set the card. I got you. How many you need?
Well, how many? What are they? The small bottles?
You ain't asked for no pineapple juice.
Actually, I did, and I had asked for some Fiji water to be sent over here, but they said I should have recorded this as a podcast.
You should have. It got real.
This would have been really, really long.
That would have been too long.
Yeah, well, you could have chopped it up, made two out of it.
Nah, I ain't got that kind of time to be doing all that kind of
You
editing.
could have just put out there as behind the scenes that you said you got. This is behind the scenes, huh?
It is.
This is behind the scenes now.
This is so much to say, and we still saying it.
Thank you.
They said give him his shoes. They know I don't. They know I don't let people
The grandmama
wear
rules.
shoes in the house.
Get the whole sign at the door and everything.
Somebody said give him his shoes.
Alicia and Kiat, please put some more chairs in the corner, please, and thank you.
Oh my God. Let me sign these books. Let me sign these orders.
Business.
Hold on. Well, let me see. Who I gotta? Oh, Tina. I gotta do books 2 and 3 for Tina too.
Took my what?
Yes.
All right, listen. Y'all have an amazing night. All right. Bye.